pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's danielnelsonmd.com.
Is your car road trip ready? Don't get stranded. Get to Buc-ee's Complete Auto Repair. Buc-ee's has been preparing cars, trucks, and SUVs for safe, worry-free travel for over 50 years. We take care of your car with experience and good old-fashioned customer service. For all your oil changes, brakes, AC charging, and factory maintenance, choose Buc-ee's. No appointment needed, and yes, friendly financing is available. Visit Buc-ee's.com. Buc-ee's, where your car feels right at home.
If you're traveling through the SCA airport this summer, use the new Security Checkpoint 1 at the south end of baggage claim. Just one of the many upgrade SCA projects taking your airport from now to wow. Stay up to date on all airport projects by following @FlySEA.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Steve Kathan. Raw emotion in a courtroom in Boise, Idaho, as family and friends of 4 college murder victims speak at a sentencing hearing for Brian Kohberger. Dylan Mortensen is a surviving roommate.
Because of him, we're beautiful, genuine, compassionate people. We're taken from this world for no reason.
CBS's Andres Gutierrez.
After we hear hours of emotional testimony from the victims' family members and possibly the 2 surviving roommates, he will be given the chance to speak. If he chooses to, he doesn't have to say why he did these murders.
A new battle line has emerged in the Trump administration's war with Harvard University. CBS's Cammie McCormick.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio says an investigation has been launched into Harvard's eligibility as a sponsor for the exchange visitor program. All sponsors, he says, must fully comply with the regulations, including conducting their programs in a way that doesn't undermine U.S. foreign policy objectives. This government visa program is for international students, researchers, and professors. The New York Times reports Harvard's been given 1 week to produce records related to the program.
The correspondent Michael Wallace tells us the number of people missing after deadly flooding in Texas is down to 2.
The body of a woman was found near hard-hit Kerrville, raising the death toll to 135. That leaves a man and a girl from Camp Mystic still missing. 12 bodies have been recovered on Ricky Ray Robertson's property along the Guadalupe River.
There were 4 children and the rest were adults.
He and a local artist have erected wooden crosses for each of them.
They're not just crosses, they're faces of husbands, wives, fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters, children.
Robertson hopes the families can start healing.
Now to Jacksonville, Florida.
Exit the vehicle now.
Where video of a winter traffic stop shows an officer punching a man in his car. William McNeil had refused commands to get out.
That day I just really wanted to know, why I was getting pulled over and why I needed to step out the car when I knew I didn't do nothing wrong.
There is an investigation. CBS's Allison Keyes on a change at Uber.
Starting next month, women getting into an Uber have the option to choose female drivers when booking their rides. Women drivers can also choose to ferry female passengers. The company says it's about giving women more choice and control when they ride or drive. Uber is test driving the program in LA, San Francisco, and Detroit.
The Dow is up 373 points. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
More on the sentencing of quadruple killer Brian Kohberger, but first from the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk. In Seattle, a disabled vehicle is blocking a lane on I-5 northbound at Michigan Street. You're backed up to Boeing Field. Remember, construction is blocking 2 lanes on I-5 northbound near the Ship Canal Bridge. The express lanes are open northbound, putting pressure on your southbound I-5 commute. You're backed up to Shoreline. Travel time Linwood to Seattle, 70 minutes. That's 26 more than usual. On I-405 southbound, you're slow from Bothell down through Totem Lake. Alderwood to South Center, 83 minutes, 18 minutes longer. Traffic brought to you by D.R. Horton. The D.R. Horton National Red Tag Sales Event has been extended through July 27th. Visit a D.R. Horton community today, drhorton.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch.
He chose destruction. He chose evil.
Heartbreaking testimony underway at the sentencing of Brian Kohberger, the man who pleaded guilty to murdering 4 University of Idaho students in 2022. They were Dylan Mortenson's roommates. She survived physically.
What if it happens again? What if next time I don't survive?
Kohberger is expected to be sentenced to 4 consecutive life sentences. One man is in critical condition. One's been arrested after a shooting in downtown Bellevue. It happened outside a Best Buy in broad daylight yesterday. Witnesses telling KIRO 7 TV.
I can't believe that in Bellevue this happened. Like, it's just unbelievable.
Police believe the shooting stemmed from an argument. King County is raising money for public safety by raising your taxes. The county council voted 8-1 to increase the county's sales and use tax by 0.1%. Councilmember Reagan Dunn voted against it.
King County has raised taxes by more than 40% on the taxpayers over the last 10 years. That's a very significant set of increases for all kinds of different things.
Revenue will be used to offset cuts at the federal level and to ensure funding for core public safety programs is available. Republican Services trash workers in Thurston County have ratified a new contract, officially ending their strike. That's what Teamsters Local 252 was telling KIRO 7 TV. The strike began in Lacey and expanded after workers in Snohomish and King Counties honored picket lines. Trash pickup has resumed.
Took a little bit to get back into the swing of things, but yeah, glad to be back out here.
Some full cans out there, I would guess.
Oh, lots of full cans, yeah, and lots of extras too, and people are definitely taking advantage of that for sure.
In some cases, there's a couple of weeks' worth of garbage to haul away. A close-fought win for the Mariners last night against the red-hot Milwaukee Brewers. Not a ton of firepower from either team, but it only took 1 run for the M's to walk away with victory.
Lift off right field. This one is going to go. It is out of here. Cal Raleigh.
Of course it was. The M's look to win the series today. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Sunny skies with highs around 83. It's 66 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Good morning, everybody, and happy Wednesday to all of you. It is July 23rd, and G is out today, but Angela Poe Russell is in. Good morning.
Good morning, Ursula. I'm so happy to be here with you.
Always great to have you with us on the show. Now, we have a very packed show, which I say all the time, but this is one of those, we got to jump right in because we have so much news to get to. AI is changing our lives dramatically, as you know, Angela. I'm generally a big proponent of artificial intelligence, but coming up at 9:30, we're going to talk about how AI could be your kids' substitute friends. How do you feel about that? And then how it can also be your enemy when it comes to booking flights in the future. As always, we invite you to join us on our text line, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. Let's get to it. Our top stories at 9, brought to you by Bathfitter Northwest. And today marks a major and emotional turning point in the quadruple murder case in Idaho that has haunted our country for nearly 3 years.
What happened that night changed everything. Because of him, 4 beautiful, genuine, compassionate people were taken from this world for no reason.
That is testimony from Dylan Mortensen, one of the roommates who was in that Moscow, Idaho home when Brian Kohberger murdered her 4 friends in November of 2022. She tearfully read her victim impact statement this morning from the prosecutor's table as Kohberger watched. Only saw a furrowed brow, but no other real expression.
He didn't just take their lives. He took the light that carried it into every room. He took away how they made everyone feel safe, loved, and full of joy. He took away the ability for me to tell them that I love them and that I'm so proud of them. He took away who they were becoming and the futures they were going to have. He took away birthdays, graduations, celebrations, and all the memories that we were supposed to make. All of it is gone.
So Kohberger accepted a plea deal, which means he avoids the death penalty in exchange for 4 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole. The victims' families have been very divided over the plea deal, and we're going to be following this very emotional sentencing hearing throughout the day. We'll go live if Kohberger does end up talking. But as we were discussing this morning, Angela, if you are one of the family members or one of the friends and Kohberger does speak, what are you hoping that he says?
Okay, this is news to me. Is he planning to
No,
to speak?
we don't know. We don't know. And I will tell you why they cannot force him to speak.
Okay. What would I be hoping he would? I honestly don't think there's anything he can say. I mean, I think it's so. Look, we on this show, you all talk all the time about how on social media people try to judge this and judge this person for this feeling and that feeling. I think, and I know there's been division among the families and how they feel about certain things, but just honor where they're at. Like, they are where they are. You can't imagine. I mean, just hearing one of the as we're listening to the victim impact statements, and one of the friends, Bethany, I may mispronounce her name, but her name is Bethany, and she talked about just the trauma of it and having to sleep in her parents' room for like a year.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just this stuff that we don't often hear about. And so I just hope people keep in mind that we can't imagine. And so even now trying to figure out what I'd want him to say, I mean, Ursula, I can't come. I don't know if there's anything he can say. I can't even imagine.
Nothing obviously is going to bring your loved one back, but I would want to know why. Why did you do this? And what exactly happened? And I think for some people, and again, the victims' families are split. We heard from Kaylee Gonzalez's father, who is blasting this agreement, and he says this is just a way for Kohberger to live a better life, a more rewarding life inside prison.
This is anything but justice. This is the opposite of our will. There was no majority believing that this was acceptable.
Now, Ethan Chapin's parents, Jim and Stacy, talked to Court TV earlier, and they said they are relieved that they're not going to have to endure a long trial.
I think our initial response was like an eye for an eye. But then we've spent a ton of time talking about it with prosecutors. And for us, we always felt like this was a better deal. I mean, he gets put away and there's no appeal system to it. And there were so many kids, including our own, that had been subpoenaed that no longer have this hanging over their heads. I mean, we just all get to go live our life.
And, the best that they can. And so I understand. I would want him to be forced to say, why did you do it? But the reality is you can't. And the reason you can't is because the Fifth Amendment protects against self-incrimination. So no one can be forced to explain why they committed a crime, even after a plea deal.
Even after they've said they're guilty, they're still not forced.
Yeah, the judge can ask him, but Kohberger can stay silent. And so far, largely he has, other than just say yes, no, just answer the very basic questions. And I understand why some of those family members were like, no, I don't want to drag my family, surviving family members into this long trial, which might have not even resulted in a guilty plea.
Oh, yeah. Something could happen where he gets off on some kind of technicality. I mean, you just don't know
exactly
when you go through that system. But I tell you what, hearing what you just said, like, I understand why we have our justice system. Like, I totally get it. But when you're in the middle of it, it can feel like there's so much protecting the perpetrators, the alleged perpetrators, and then you're there feeling like, wait a minute, I'm the one that's been harmed here and violated. When am I looked out for in this system?
Yes.
And I don't know if you saw that interview, but there was an interview that one of the family members did on CBS this morning, and it was with Gayle King, and they were saying, we still don't know some details of how they died. And I'll never forget this quote. I think it was the dad. He said, when you hide the details, you are protecting the killer. You are, and it was, I'm paraphrasing here, but basically he just felt like, why are we protecting and hiding this information? Because it only protects him.
Yeah.
He's like, we want to know. And Gayle kept saying, well, why do you? Because I do.
Yes.
It's like, I don't need anyone judging me when I'm going through grief.
Yes, because exactly. So we all grieve differently. I would like to hear what you all think, and what would you want to hear, if anything, from Brian Kohberger. Our text line is 888-973-5476, 888-973-KIRO. Now, faced with yet another budget shortfall, King County is going to turn back to taxpayers, this time voting to raise the sales tax by 0.1% to keep the legal system running. It passed on Tuesday. It was an 8-1 vote, and they say, is going to bring in nearly $95 million a year. And again, they say, for the average family, the council claims it's going to be about $40 more out of pocket each year. And that money would pay for everything from sheriff's deputies and public defenders to diversion programs and mental health services. And council members admit it's not ideal. Sales taxes hit low-income families hardest, but they say they have run out of options. They point out property tax revenue is capped by state law, inflation has outpaced budgets, and Olympia isn't giving enough tools beyond now having to rely on a sales tax. But Councilmember Reagan Dunn was the only no vote, and he argued that taxpayers are just tired of being asked to pay more without results.
King County has raised taxes by more than 40% on the taxpayers over the last 10 years. That's a very significant set of increases for all kinds of different things.
Okay, you live in King County like I do.
King County's done some amazing things.
Sure,
some amazing things. And I love what it did. There was a levy a couple of years ago that's created these mental health crisis centers. Love that. Great use of money. It has to stop somewhere. This is like the never-ending. Is it what?
Yes,
it's like the never-ending story. And I was going back trying to understand like how they could just do this. Well, apparently in 2023, the legislature gave them the ability to pass these kind of things without voter approval. And okay, I hope we don't sound like a broken record, but I'm a guest host, so I can just say it.
Go for it.
But we are the highest in the country. I know we've said that before, but I need to reiterate this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, King County at 8.8. So now we're at 8.8%, right? In King County, but Seattle more than 10%, the highest in the country. And then I found out Linwood never gets mentioned because it's not a major city. But it's like at 10.6.
We're talking about for the sales tax. Yeah, right.
Sorry, sales tax. 10.6%.
Yes.
And so we have, listen, I am fine reimagining the system, but you don't get to reimagine it without adjusting the sales tax. So if you adjust some other tax, I don't know if it's income, whatever it is, you got to lower the sales tax. It has to happen at the same time. We can't keep going on this path. And I know where you're going to go with this, Ursula.
Well, yeah.
You're going to say, what about cutting? Is that what you're going to
Yeah, I'm about to say, like, why are we having not enough money to cover the basics? To deal with what it's going to pay for is to make sure that the legal system keeps running. It's going to pay for sheriff's deputies. But those are the basics. Public defenders, diversion programs, mental health. Those should be the basics. Find someplace else to cut.
Yeah.
instead of, oh my gosh, we're not going to be able to pay for this if we don't hit you up again for another tax. And again, I'm not all anti-tax.
No.
But I am against, let's just tax you and just keep increasing the taxes for everything. And yes, I mean, Reagan Dunn was correct. We've got there was a parks levy, mental health crisis levy, which you said and I voted for.
Yeah.
But fingerprint ID levy, sound transit levy, Seattle Jumpstart tax.
You get a levy.
Yeah, it's like, when does it end?
And here's the problem. This is the problem of what happens when you rely on a sales tax. The revenue fluctuates. And when people stop spending money and buying things, then the counties, the cities, they take in less money. And I saw you nodding your head, Chef. Were you going to weigh in on when I mentioned Linwood earlier? You were like, yes.
Well, yeah. I mean, because I've gone shopping and I'm like, oh, I have $11. It's going to be enough for this. Wait, what? That math doesn't add up. I mean, you point to a real problem, though, in when people spend less, there's going to be less revenue. There's also the 1% cap on increases in property taxes. And inflation is far outpacing that 1% cap. So even though it looks like they should be getting way more revenue, it's a shrinking pool when it comes to the property taxes.
Yes, exactly. Okay, we're learning now a little bit more about why immigration officials detained a beloved staff member at Juanita High School. The story did just get a little more complicated, too. ICE is claiming that Fernando Rocha, the school's theater manager, is wanted in Brazil for theft, in addition to allegedly overstaying his U.S. tourist visa. But Rocha's attorney says that's the first he's ever heard of that theft charge. And he says his client was arrested for the expired visa, even though he has a valid work permit and a pending asylum application. So this guy has lived in the U.S. since 2018. He's worked at Juanita High School for years. People affiliated with that school are just freaking out about this. Representative Susan Del Bene calls the detention troubling and is raising concerns about due process. His bond hearing is set for July 29th. But I asked the question yesterday, like, should we be covering each and every one of these stories? Because this kind of thing is just happening more often. But now we're finding out, okay, he may possibly have a theft charge.
I think it's possibly, and it's an accusation.
Right.
And at the end of the day, he was here, it sounds like legally with a work. I mean, he overstayed a visa, but had this application in, had a valid work permit, it sounds like. I think we have to, no matter what the topic is, when there is a policy covering the human side of that policy. And this is a school in our area that was impacted by one of these raids. And then I have to ask the question, what is our national strategy? Can we just tell the truth about what the strategy is? Mm-hmm. Is the strategy to go after the worst of the worst? Is the strategy just to like mass deportation no matter what because we're trying to fill in the blank?
Yeah, right. No, and that's what's so unclear. And I think there's such a distrust for what is happening with ICE and how these things are going about that I don't even know. I mean, he deserves due process. I don't know. Does he actually have a theft charge in Brazil? Or is that being used as an excuse to say, this is why we've taken him? And that's unfortunately the case. The trust has been eroded when it comes to that.
Such a fair point. And his attorney pointed out, I think you commented that this was the first thing about the theft charge. That's what he said.
Yes.
But then there was another piece where he said this arrest shouldn't have happened considering the paperwork that he had.
Yes.
So I've heard those stories a lot too, and that is disconcerting.
Yes, for sure. Okay, I apologize if I am making anyone freak out with that noise because I know it's a controversial noise for some. The Blue Angels have not even taken off yet, but the backlash has already landed. A Seattle woman is suing the Navy flight team, claiming that their thunderous air show last summer triggered a fatal health crisis in her 17-year-old cat. And then she says when she tried to speak out about it online, the Blue Angels silenced her. We're talking about Lauren Lombardi. She filed this federal lawsuit over the weekend, and she says the noise from last year's Seafair performance caused panic attacks in her cat Layla, who had heart disease. And after repeated distress episodes, she says she had to euthanize Layla just days after the show. And she claims her First Amendment rights were violated when the Blue Angels official Instagram account blocked her after she was criticizing the air show, and she was sharing a petition titled, "We all want to feel safe, no more Blue Angels over Seattle." And as you might imagine, she's not alone in her disdain for the Navy jets. On Tuesday, a large billboard appeared along Rainier Avenue South saying, "Say no to the Blue Angels." And so critics are saying it's not just that they're loud. They say they're dangerous. They point out to these studies that show jet noise impacts heart health, your sleep, even wildlife behavior. But Seafair and the Navy say the Blue Angels are a cherished tradition and it's vital for recruiting. And so the show goes on. How do you land on this one?
I was rolling my eyes on this one. I mean, I'm from Pensacola, Florida, the home of the Navy Blue Angels. And I've ridden in one. I love watching. I mean, we make it an event every year. Yeah. So I was extremely annoyed. But in the spirit of the Gee and Ursula show, we always have a second thought. Like we listen to other perspectives. Yes. We do our research.
Yes.
And sometimes it evolves our view.
Okay. So you're
changing? I know stuff happens. That's all I can say. So now I'm feeling a little more open to the idea. I'm open to the idea because I looked at some of the research and it is true.
Yeah.
However, usually sustained periods of time.
Yes.
But if you have a pre-existing condition like her cat,
yes.
The other piece of this, I didn't really appreciate how much fuel they were using in one weekend. 70,000 gallons. 70,000 gallons of fuel over our area in one weekend, getting on our plants and our stuff. And I'm just like...
And then, there's one activist who says the Angels produce 670 tons of carbon emissions in a single weekend. Am I a horrible person that I still love the Blue Angels?
Oh, I love the Blue Angels. I'm just wondering, can we come up with some kind of like, maybe instead of like 5, because, you know, they do 2 official shows, but all these practice shows.
Yeah.
Can we reduce the amount?
Yes. I was going to say, do they have to practice as much? I think they do.
They do have to get the practice, but maybe the practice,
maybe
I don't know.
One show?
What do y'all think?
Yeah, text us. We're struggling.
I'm listening. I haven't changed. I'm listening.
We're listening. We're open to new ideas. Because as of right now, I still love the Blue Angels. 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. Okay, we're going to be talking about how AI is making our lives better. Or is it? That's coming up next on the Gee and Ursula Show.
The Jake and Spike Show.
Weekdays, noon to 3.
Seattle is the nation's most male-skewed major city. There's more men in Seattle. They say in the article here, they said the most masculine city, but I absolutely disagree with that.
You've seen the men in this town.
Exactly.
Please. It's not like it's 80-20.
No,
that's when it's hard to meet a lady.
That's true.
When there's 4 guys for every girl. That's when it's here come the bride's time.
The Jake and Spike Show.
Weekdays, noon to 3.
On KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Hey, golf fans. Jordan Babineau here. Get ready for an unforgettable weekend at the 2025 Boeing Classic. Come see Masters champions and Hall of Fame golfers battle it out at the club at Snoqualmie Ridge, August 8th through the 10th. Bring the whole family and check out Seahawks Village, packed with fun for all ages. Plus, celebrate 20 years of the Boeing Classic, supporting the Benaroya Research Institute at Virginia Mason Franciscan Health. It's more than just golf. It's an experience you won't want to miss. August 8th through the 10th. Tickets start at just $20 and kids get in free. Visit BlowingClassic.com for more.
Hey guys, it's Keith Dashafee from Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington, and we are not done celebrating 100 years of industry leadership. For a limited time, get $100 off every window, $100 off every door, or choose 60 months of 0% financing with no interest and equal payments. That's right, 100 years strong, and we're giving you more ways to save on the Pella difference. Schedule your free consultation today at PellaPNW.com. Thank you again for letting us serve you in the Northwest.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time. The next time you're out to dinner with friends, you can order the shrimp cocktail for the table. And maybe you'll realize it only comes with 4 shrimp after you've already given away 3, but that one shrimp will be so good. And if you switch and save hundreds, you could get shrimp all the time. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For shrimp. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
12's Seahawks training camp, powered by Boeing, is underway at the Virginia Mason Athletic Center. Join us lakeside for a first look at your 2025 Seahawks as they put in work and gear up for a milestone 50th season. Only a few open practice remain, and they're filling up fast. Register now at Seahawks.com/training camp.
Are you worried about economic conditions, tariffs, and inflation? Are you tired of trying to time the stock market? Maybe it's time to take a little risk off the table given current market volatility. For stability, there's no better option than Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, a fixed return of 9%. Hi, I'm Scott Rurucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. We've been running local real estate investment funds for over 18 years with 0 investor losses, averaging double-digit returns since inception, and we also accept IRAs. Over 1,000 local investors have invested over $250 million in our Legacy family of funds. Feeling uneasy? Don't gamble your hard-earned money or risk your retirement. Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, returning 9%, has limited openings for new investors right now.
Call 425-635-4700 or visit LegacyG.com. That's LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Legacy investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. The sentencing continues for the Washington State man who pleaded guilty to murdering 4 University of Idaho students. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey joins us live. Luke, some of this testimony is heartbreaking.
Yeah, so far it's been an emotional morning, Heather, inside that courtroom in Boise. Dylan Mortensen read her impact statement not too long ago. She was friends with victims Xana Kernodle and Kaylee Gonsalves.
Everyone loved her because she made everyone feel so loved. I wish more than anything I could hug them one last time. And I wish I could tell them how much I love them.
The entire time, Kohberger sat beside his attorneys in his orange prison jumper, showing zero emotion. He will be given the opportunity to speak himself right before he's sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, which was part of a plea deal. Heather, 982 days after the murders of those 4 students, families finally have the chance to express the pain Kohberger has caused.
Thank you, Luke. A controversial new rule from Washington State Supreme Court goes into effect September 1st. It gives judges the power to dismiss criminal cases if there's evidence of arbitrary action or government misconduct.
This can't be serious.
Democratic State Representative Lauren Davis tells KTTH's Jason Rance this could lead to more criminals walking free, but supporters say it will make the justice system more fair. We're learning more about the Kirkland High School staff member detained by ICE. Immigration and Customs Enforcement claims that Juanita High School theater manager Fernanda Alvarez Roca overstated tourist visa and is wanted in Brazil for theft. Roca's lawyer says he doesn't know about the theft charge.
All they've told him is that he had an expired visa, which is factually correct, but it's not his whole story.
He says Roca applied for asylum when his tourist visa expired and that he'd been granted a valid work visa in the interim. We're hearing more from the man seen in a video getting punched by police and dragged from his car in Jacksonville, Florida.
I was really just scared.
William McNeil Jr. is black, and there are calls for the officer to get fired. New numbers on the toll flash flooding took on Central Texas. More from CBS's Michael Wallace.
The body of a woman was found near hard-hit Kerrville, raising the death toll to 135. That leaves a man and a girl from Camp Mystic still missing.
The Texas state legislature has begun a series of hearings about the floods, looking at the timeline and how more lives might have been saved. On Wall Street, the Dow was up 353 points. NASDAQ ahead 35. From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk, construction is blocking 2 lanes on I-5 northbound near the Ship Canal Bridge. The express lanes are open northbound, putting pressure on your southbound I-5 commute. You're still backed up into Shoreline right now. Travel time, Linwood to Seattle, 70 minutes. That's half an hour longer than usual. On I-405 southbound, an alternate route. You're slow from Bothell down through Totem Lake. Alderwood to South Center, 85 minutes. Nearly half an hour drive longer than usual. Traffic brought to you by KIRO Newsradio. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Sunshine today with highs in the low 80s. It is 66 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out today. Angela Poe Russell is in. And if you're a regular listener of our show, you know that we talk about artificial intelligence quite a bit. In fact, we've got some new information today, and I'm curious how you feel about it.
Oh, this has me hot. It has me hot. Okay, here's where we are. So you always hear it like AI can make your life easier, all these great things it can do, but it also can make our lives more expensive. Delta Airlines is doubling down on a pilot program that uses AI to determine how much people are willing to pay in real time. The airline's president compared AI to a super analyst, working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, trying to simulate in real time what should the price points be. The pilot program used AI for 3% of fares so far. By the end of the year, they want to use it for 20% of ticket prices. Now, some Democratic lawmakers are pushing back on this. Ursula, Senators Ruben Gallego, Mark Warner, Richard Blumenthal, and they wrote this letter that they made public, and they said Delta's, they call it surveillance pricing because they're using, basically AI tracking all the things you're doing to figure out what you're willing to pay. So this surveillance practice, they said, not only presents data privacy concerns, but will also likely mean fair price increases up to each individual consumer's personal pain point at a time when American families are already struggling with rising costs. That same statement pointed out that the AI company's website claims that AI adoption and usage could increase aviation industry profits by up to $4.4 trillion annually.
Yeah. So in case you were wondering, hey, could it ever work in my favor? And maybe they'll put the price point lower, seeing that, yeah, exactly. No, they look at this as we're going to gouge you for as much as we can. And it's going to be based on what your past history is and what previous pain points are. Things change. I mean, what if you had to buy under duress, you had to buy a ticket that you paid an arm and a leg for, but it's because you wanted to be at a funeral at a certain date or whatever. So they say, oh, well, this person is willing to pay more, so we're going to jack it up for this person.
Yeah, and now idea. Delta is saying that, well, there is no fair product that Delta has ever used, testing or plans to use that targets customers with individualized offers based on personal information or otherwise. Now, it sounds like the legal department maybe was involved in that. You know how you wordsmith? It's like, well, we're not doing this, but we're doing that.
Of course not.
And look, it's been known that airlines have used this dynamic pricing model in the past. The problem with this is that now you have an AI tool that can study all these things.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, it's 24 hours, 7 days a week, working to figure you out and what you're going to pay. And what if we were in person and you're shopping in a store and someone just comes in front of you and changes, like that would never be okay. But somehow it's okay in this world. And I'm not sure why.
Well, it's because they don't have to do it, again, in person. It's just kind of like how it's okay in the virtual world for a lot of people to just say whatever the heck they want, but they wouldn't do it to your face, right? It's kind of the same thing. Hey, we can get away with this. And again, if I'm a company, I'm thinking, this is awesome. I can increase potentially my profits by $4.4 trillion each year.
By adopting this technology.
Yes, which no one's going to know.
Yeah, and here's the deal. Haven't they talked about using AI in grocery stores too? I mean, you can easily have the digital price tags and just adjust it. I know what you're willing to pay for this. You've bought these chocolate chips before at this price. Oh, where does it end?
Is it too idealistic of me to wish for a future in which somebody making $1 million going to the grocery store pays $22 for their mac and cheese while I pay the $1.99 that I used to pay 10 years ago?
No, that's not okay.
No.
That's not because you have to.
That is where pricing pressure comes from in grocery stores, is because they look at a market and they say, how many people can afford to pay X for this product? And screw the rest of the people who can't. And that's why we see prices get so high.
Can I offer a counter view? Because what I've noticed, because I live in an area where I'm trying to figure out how to put it. The
Diplomatic.
The streets can change. I mean, like one street is let's say more well off. Another street is not so well off. And so I shop at a variety of places. And I've often noticed that stores that are in places, let's say where people don't have a lot of options and might be a little bit more poor, they actually are more expensive. And then I go to like a wealthier neighborhood and they've got all these priced, and I never thought that made sense to me. But I think what's going on is they know that maybe those folks may not have as many options. So this is their option, and they gouge people.
Which is not right. Isabella just texted in and said, hey, I just put this question to AI. How do I get the cheapest fares on Delta when they're using AI for pricing? And AI says there's lots of ways, but one of the things is open an incognito or private browsing window and searching for flights. It prevents the website from tracking your browsing history and potentially using it to personalize prices. So ask AI how you overcome AI.
I love it.
That's where we're at this point.
Oh, my gosh. Okay. So there's another AI story.
Yes.
I don't know how you all will feel about this, but it's teens using it when they feel lonely. A new report from the nonprofit Internet Matters found children and teens are using AI programs like ChatGPT to simulate friendships more than ever before. A quarter of children who use chatbots use them to seek advice on everything from what to wear to conversations they want to have with friends. Others use them for connection, simulating friendship. Some say they do it out of boredom to discuss topics they're interested in and have no one else to talk to. Half of the children, by the way, who use it do so for schoolwork. Now, some children see AI chatbots as human-like and refer to them with gendered pronouns. Experts suggest children may become more emotionally reliant on them. What's your thought? Is this a good thing, Ursula?
I think this is anything we do that removes children from human interaction is a bad thing. And if they start believing that this chatbot is a person or replaces those emotional needs that you would normally get from being around people, around friends, and you're now just even more immersed in your technology, I think that's horrible. I think that's dangerous.
But I totally get your point. And at the same time, if you have a kid that is feeling lonely and they don't have another option right now, could this be a tool that gets them kind of like the bridge over troubled water, so to speak?
But I think there's also a danger in that. I mean, what I'm finding out the more and more I use AI, it is a great tool, but it is an imperfect tool. And it's just as good as the input that goes in, right? Okay, that was redundant. But
it's
so I'd be worried with kids. What are you putting in to get to the responses that you do?
Have you ever asked it for advice? Okay,
I mean, when it comes to...
I have.
Wait, what advice did you ask?
One time I did ask... It was a parenting one. Now, it doesn't mean I took but I wanted to see what maybe, because it's going to draw from various resources.
Absolutely.
And it was pretty solid.
There you go.
Because you started with an empathetic point of view, and then,
Yes, exactly.
But I don't want to become reliant.
No, exactly. I mean, have I used it to help me write a card? Yeah, that too.
Have I used it to ask, what's this weird thing on my skin here? And then I realized that Ursula shares my account. Oh, no.
Do tell, Ursula.
I created my own account, too. I don't have time to be looking at what he's searching. Are you kidding me? Okay, still ahead, when we need to talk, we are going to talk about what should we do about folks who own dogs and let them poop everywhere and just don't pick up after themselves.
Oh, don't get me started.
Oh, yeah, because it's affecting beaches in your neighborhood. We'll talk about that coming up next.
Seattle Children's is leading the fight against pediatric cancer with groundbreaking research in immunotherapy. It reprograms a child's own T cells to hunt down and destroy cancer. It's hope, powered by science. But here's the truth. Pediatric cancer research is drastically underfunded. That's why Safeway is stepping up, and you can too. G. Scott here asking you to say yes to donating to ImmunoHeroes next time you're at Safeway checkout. Together, we can help fight cancer for all kidkind.
We've just been talking about how much you need to watch your dollar, prices going up. And if you are in the market for a new car, you want to make sure that you are going to get a vehicle that is going to meet your needs, your lifestyle, and your budget. And you don't want to be pressured into buying something that you cannot afford. And that is the experience that you are going to get at Carter Subaru. And it is why we are repeat customers. And it is why I will shout their name from the rooftops, because buying a car at Carter Subaru is always a hassle-free experience. No pushy sales tactics. The customer service is going to be excellent. They will treat you like family, and it is why I feel so confident in recommending them to you. And right now, you can get the 2025 Crosstrek with 2.9% APR for 72 months, or take advantage of the federal tax credit before it goes away and lease a 2025 Subaru Solterra and receive a credit of up to $7,500.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. Not all buyers will qualify for federal tax credit. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized cost. See dealer for details. Valid through 7/31/25.
Citizens, since we each upgraded to Xfinity in our homes, the Wi-Fi has been booming. It's fair to say our town has officially become a boomtown.
Mayor, will I be able to drop into multiplayer gaming battles with low lag?
The lag won't be an issue, but your questionable skills may be.
And what if I have hundreds of devices on the Wi-Fi? Purely hypothetical.
Seems like a lot, but sure, hundreds of devices all booming together with the Xfinity Gateway. Yes, friends and neighbors, with Xfinity, the Wi-Fi is booming.
The Wi-Fi isn't the only thing that's booming. Now get the most reliable Wi-Fi and our best-in-class equipment for one consistent price for 5 years guaranteed. All in. Plus, get unlimited data included and no annual contract. All with the 5-year price guarantee from Xfinity. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. New residential customers only. Select plans only. Xfinity Gateway with XFi Complete required for unlimited data except in certain areas. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024. Actual speeds vary.
Is your car road trip ready? Don't get stranded. Get to Bucky's Complete Auto Repair. Bucky's has been preparing cars, trucks, and SUVs for safe, worry-free travel for over 50 years. We take care of your car with experience and good old-fashioned customer service. For all your oil changes, brakes, AC charging, and factory maintenance, choose Bucky's. No appointment needed, and yes, friendly financing is available. Visit Bucky's.com. Bucky's, where your car feels right at home.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
So why don't you speed?
I've had one too many close calls on the road, and then I learned the facts.
It's dangerous to drive too fast.
It's true. 1 in 3 fatal crashes involve speeding.
Most people try to be safe, but speeding is dangerous.
You know, the faster you go, the longer it takes to stop.
The faster you drive, the harder you'd hit someone. Slower speeds save lives.
Please drive the speed limit so everyone is safe. Learn more at togetherwegetthere.com.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of their National Red Tag Sales event, now extended through July 27th. Stop by any of their participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event extended to July 27th. Discover the D.R. Horton difference at drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
It started as a puddle.
Where?
In the shower.
Uh-oh.
Then the kitchen sink.
Started backing up?
Yeah.
I know where this is going.
Clogged up.
Right. No problem.
Beg your pardon?
There's no clog we can't clear.
You're Dan.
From Apollo Plumbing.
This is going to get pricey.
How about $83?
To clear my drain?
Apollo Plumbing clears main drains every day.
For $83?
83 or it's free.
What's the catch?
No catch. We'll even do a camera inspection.
Why's that?
It's the best way to find the cause of your clog.
And it's included?
No extra charge. Truth is, we hate clogs.
I don't love them.
Seen them all.
Ew.
I promise, there's no clog Apollo can't clear.
Guaranteed.
83 or free.
Goodbye, slow drains.
All it takes is an accessible clean out.
And Apollo gets my drains draining again.
You call, we come, it's fixed.
My heroes.
Just doing our job.
Thank you, Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show. Thank you so much for hanging out with us on this Wednesday morning. Gee is out, Angela Poe Russell is in, and we need to talk about what can we do about crappy dog owners. And there's a reason why, right?
Yes.
I mean, essentially, we're talking about beaches and some of the beaches that have been closed.
Absolutely. More King County beaches have tested positive for these high levels of bacteria. Seattle and King County now saying you have to avoid swimming. And this is summertime, y'all. You need to avoid swimming at Pritchard Beach and Madison Park Beach, which just joined Green Lake's East Beach and Juanita Beach on the no-go list.
Oh, boy.
So all these places being shut down. Again, the source, fecal matter from humans, pets, or wildlife, and it can cause everything from rashes and nausea to eye infections. It's dangerous. But this just isn't a one-week thing. According to a report from the Environment America Research and Policy Center, 76% of Washington beaches recorded at least one day with unsafe levels of fecal contamination. This was last year. That's 3 out of every 4 beaches in the entire state, Ursula.
Oh, yeah.
So where does this contamination come from? Well, some of it is the outdated sewer systems, some stormwater runoff, but a lot of it is, as you stated, from the crappy dog owners. And I know so many places are grappling with what to do, from education campaigns to surveillance, shaming them with signs. What
tracking
will
DNA?
Work? Yes.
I mean, I actually looked it up and I was like, what are other countries or cities doing about dog owners who don't pick up their dog's poop?
I did the same thing. I did the same exact thing. Like, what does this say about us?
Yeah.
That we have gotten to a point where folks are not leaning into personal responsibility. Pick up your trash. throw away. It's almost like the cigarette butt thing,
Exactly.
right?
Like if you aren't picking it up, who do you expect to pick it up? Who is? And the other day, by the way, okay, so first of all,
this is fresh for Ursula.
Yeah, this is very fresh because I was just in Lower Queen Anne, took our boys to dinner. Mm-hmm. This was on Monday night. Getting back to the car, I didn't look down, and my foot went right into the dog poop. And I got into the car and I was like, oh my gosh, it reeks in here. And of course I look, and I gotta say, whatever that dog ate, it was orange. It was like all over. And so both my son and I, his brand new sneakers that we got for his birthday, all just covered in poop. Okay, you're laughing, but
no,
okay,
you're
have you
laughing
tried,
until it happens.
Yeah, until it happens. And I'm like, first of all, clearly I'm not looking down when I'm walking, as I should have. But the poop, whoever let their dog poop, and by the way, I'm assuming it was dog poop, but it looked about like that.
We hope.
I hope it was. But it was right there on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Just left there, And so, so now we're dealing with fecal contamination in the beaches, people just not. And I think the fine, but who's going to find them? We have so many other problems. What do you do?
I'm a big, we have cameras everywhere these days. I wonder, okay.
Yeah,
you're laughing.
No.
But I know some apartment complexes have started cameras, and if they find that the person who did it, they're fining. So I wonder if there's something like that we can do in certain areas where people can get flagged. And now I'm going to go extreme. I'm going nuclear. If we can't get this together, because I want to be able to enjoy our local beaches and the water. People want to take their kids out there. Do we need to have some kind of moratorium on how many pets can exist in one space in terms of, I know this sounds horrible. This sounds like population control. But
that's never going to happen.
Okay, just
in
hear
an
me
area
out, though.
where we have more dogs than humans. And someone's pointing out, hey, it's mostly ducks and geese. And I think, in a lot of instances, that used to be the only, the main problem. But I think a lot of it they're finding out is testing. And it's because people are being really sloppy about their dogs.
But what are your ideas? What can we implement to stop this, since so many people can't seem to do the right thing?
Oh, I've got a great idea.
Let's hear it.
The pooparazzi. So we pay people, we have park rangers, right? We pay a crew of 5 people to, hide out in neighborhoods, especially the high poo neighborhoods, and snap pictures of anyone who doesn't pick up the crap. They can have the ghillie suits on like snipers do, so people can't see them. And then we publicly shame them, post their faces on websites, and maybe that'll take care of the problem. Or just issue tickets.
I'm up for all ideas going nuclear at this point. I'm just kind of done with it. I find it so entitled.
Yes.
Disrespectful.
It is disrespectful.
Inconsiderate.
It's almost as bad as graffiti for me.
The worst ones are the runners who can't be stopped not only to pick up the poo, but to let the dog poo. So you see the trail of it down the sidewalk. What is wrong with you people?
Okay,
wait a minute. Greg
okay.
in Las Vegas. I got to share this. I lived in a condo once. I got a neighbor bending down and pretending to pick up her dog poo.
Wow.
If you're going to already bend, just finish the job. And by the way,
you want to have a dog, but you don't want to do what comes with having a dog.
And Angela, you and I have talked about how once you step in it,
there's no
coming back.
I love you all's advice because I have washed the shoes 3 times. I've let it sit in sunlight. I've soaked it in vinegar. I've soaked it in bleach. And it's I can't unsmell it.
They're done.
You gotta sacrifice
my shoes are
a
ruined.
toothbrush. Right, really get in there.
Oh, I've done all of it. It's it does not go away. And these were my running shoe, which were expensive.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, coming up at 10 in What's New at 10, we're going to talk about a couple of verdicts involving one 911 supervisor who won a big settlement in Seattle over the COVID vaccine mandate. And then in another case, well, we'll share it because there's just 2 opposing stories, and I'm curious as to what you think about that. We'll also have more testimony from the student murder sentencing that was in Idaho. It's going on right now. Very emotional. We'll have more on that coming up next on the Gee and Ursula Show.
Hey golf fans, Jordan Babineau here. Get ready for an unforgettable weekend at the 2025 Boeing Classic. Come see Masters champions and Hall of Fame golfers battle it out at the club at Snoqualmie Ridge, August 8th through the 10th. Bring the whole family and check out Seahawks Village, packed with fun for all ages. Plus, celebrate 20 years of the Boeing Classic, supporting the Benaroya Research Institute at Virginia Mason Franciscan Health. It's more than just golf. It's an experience you won't want to miss. August 8th through the 10th. Tickets start at just $20 and kids get in free. Visit blowingclassic.com for more.
Business leaders know to solve a problem, you gotta look at it in a new way. Like travel between Seattle and Portland. Why is it such a pain? I-5 traffic, TSA slowdowns, SeaTac hassles. Seaport removes those pain points. We fly out of Boeing Field and a private terminal at PDX. You park for free, steps away from your plane. And with flights every 45 minutes, you're always home for dinner. Problem solved. Seaport Airlines. It's about time.
AAA asked me if I would change my name from Sir Mix-a-Lot to Sir Mix-a-Lot. I said, why would I do that? They said, you're more than just a rapper. You're a car collector. You're a businessman. You're an inventor. Just like AAA is more than just towing. They have awesome travel advisors and insurance agents. And they got 3 A's in their name. Maybe I should change my name. Give me 3 A's. Mix A, mix A. When I say mix, give me 3 A's. Mix A.
Hey, it's John Curley for Closets by Design. Our closets were a mess, so I called Closets by Design. They came in and did exceptional work. Now, they're locally owned, and they've been operating for more than 2 decades. I love these guys, a family-run business with national backing, and they source almost all their products right here in Washington. Have Closets by Design come out and customize your closet. Right now, 40% off plus an additional 15% off with 18 months financing and free installation. 1-800-BY-DESIGN or closetsbydesign.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
A couple years ago, I was in the bathroom at the airport when I dropped my smartphone in the toilet. Not smart. I was multitasking when I should have been focused on the job at hand. Embarrassing, but I'm not alone. According to Google, 7 million other multitaskers accidentally dropped their phones into the bowl last year. A gentle reminder that right now you can get yourself a brand new Samsung Galaxy A36 absolutely free with a $35 plan from Pure Talk. The A36 comes with scratch-resistant Gorilla Glass and a battery that'll last all day, along with unlimited talk, text, and data on America's most dependable 5G network. In other words, it's tough and smart. Something to think about next time you're multitasking in the necessary. Just dial pound 250, say keyword micro to get your free phone today. You can make the switch in just 10 minutes. That's pound 250. Say micro to switch to a no-nonsense smartphone and a company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
This week, 4-time Grammy winner and jazz legend Stanley Clarke returns to Jazz Alley, July 24th through 27th. 6 shows of pure bass brilliance, electric, acoustic, and unforgettable. Tickets at jazzalley.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Steve Kafin. The father of one of 4 Idaho murder victims calls Brian Kohberger a loser, absolute failure. At his sentencing hearing, Dylan Mortensen is the surviving roommate of the 4 college students. She also called him out.
He chose destruction. He chose evil. He feels nothing. He tried to take everything from me. My friends, my safety, my identity, my future.
Kohberger, who struck a plea deal, is likely to get 4 life sentences without parole. CBS's Jonathan Vigliotti.
There are still many questions that may never be answered. Chief among them, Kohberger's motive for murdering the 4 college students. Kohberger has the right to speak, but he is not required to. His legal team is also under no obligation to offer an explanation for his actions.
There are growing questions about conditions inside a number of immigration holding facilities, as we hear from CBS's Jared Hill.
Men seen sleeping on the floor on thin blankets, sharing a single toilet. Video released by the New York Immigration Coalition is giving a first-hand look at conditions inside a holding cell at the city's federal immigration offices.
He did not deserve any of this.
Samara Dela Cruz Gooden says her husband, John Paul Alcivar, was there for several days last month, detained by ICE at his asylum hearing.
Overseas, Jerusalem reporter Linda Gradstein reports Israel is again at odds with the UN over Gaza.
A senior Israeli army official said the army has, quote, not identified famine in Gaza. He admitted that there has been a significant drop in the amount of aid reaching Palestinians in Gaza, but blamed the United Nations for not collecting and distributing the supplies. Dozens of international organizations say that Israel is blocking them from accessing or delivering the aid, and that famine is spreading.
Well, CBS's Kelly O'Grady has more on the new U.S. trade deal with Japan.
The 15% tariff means prices could go up for U.S. consumers. Note, though, Japan already imposes tariffs on U.S. goods, so the president says this new deal will provide a win for American farmers and automakers to more easily sell to Japan.
An industry report says sales of existing homes fell in June to the slowest pace since last September. CBS's Jill Schlesinger.
It's not just mortgage rates that are making it hard to buy a home. Prices remain high. Over the past 5 years, the median price for an existing home is up by more than 42%. That's about twice the rate of inflation.
And checking Wall Street, the Dow is up 385 points. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Get renter's insurance to protect the things that make your place a home, including coverage for theft or damage. Visit Progressive.com.
We have more on the sentencing of quadruple killer Brian Kohberger, but first from the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk. Construction continues to block 2 lanes on I-5 northbound near the Ship Canal Bridge, so the express lanes are remaining open northbound, putting pressure on your southbound I-5 commute. You're still backed up into Shoreline. Travel time Linwood to Seattle is about an hour, half an hour longer than usual. On I-405 southbound, you're slow from Bothell down through Kirkland. Alderwood to South Center, travel time 82 minutes, also half an hour longer than typical. Traffic brought to you by Kia of Everett. Over 400 tariff-free new Kias are available now at Kia of Everett with easy lease and financing options.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. As you heard on CBS, we are hearing from family and friends of the 4 University of Idaho students that Brian Kohberger pleaded guilty to murdering. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is monitoring Kohberger's sentencing, and he joins us live with the very latest. Luke?
Heather, an emotional day inside a Boise courtroom today. Earlier, Ben Mogan, the father of victim Maddie Mogan, read a Father's Day card she sent to him.
It says, Happy Father's Day. I hope you have the best day. I can't wait till we can hang out again soon. Love you lots and lots. Love, Maddie May. I don't know. I just love you, Maddie, and I wish you were still here.
The entire time, Kohberger sat beside his attorneys, in his orange prison jumper, showing zero emotion. In addition to testimony, the judge will hear 2 motions to continue a no-contact order for the next 99 years and a no-profit order, so Kohberger can't profit off the lives and deaths of his victims. Heather?
Thank you, Luke. A man is in critical condition following a shooting outside of Best Buy in downtown Bellevue. KIRO 7 TV Samantha Lomibow reports.
Wahida was shopping inside this Best Buy with her family when Bellevue police responded to a shooting right outside the store on Tuesday.
One gunshot, everyone was just running around.
We take it very seriously.
Captain Shelby Shearer says 2 men got into an argument when one fired a gun and struck the other while he was driving. The victim was rushed to the hospital, and the suspect was caught close by.
During the initial investigation, nearby stores were put into lockdown. Northeast 4th Street was temporarily closed. King County is raising money for public safety by raising your taxes. The county council voted 8-1 to increase the county's sales and use tax by 0.1%. They say the money will be used to offset cuts at the federal level and to ensure funding for core public safety programs. A strike by a dozen Republic Services trash workers in Lacey that spread to other cities is officially over now. Teamsters Local 252 tells KIRO 7 TV they've ratified a new contract. Trash pickup had just resumed. More from KIRO 7 TV's Brandon Thompson.
It is the day
I'm happy about it.
Republic Services customers
Glad to be back out here.
and staff have been waiting for. Trash pickup resuming.
Glad to be back out here.
Some full cans out there, I would guess.
Oh, lots of full cans, yeah, and lots of extras too.
Republic Services will be picking up all the trash that hasn't been the last several weeks. This is not a big item pickup, just for the weeks of everyday household trash. So maybe leave the old couches inside.
This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Sunny skies today with highs in the low 80s. It's 67 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Welcome, 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 and happy Wednesday to all of you. This is the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out today. Angela Poe Russell is in. Good morning.
Good morning, Ursula.
It is another packed hour for you. Our text line is open, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. We found out, Angela, in the first hour, a lot of people had a lot to say both about Seafair and the Blue Angels.
Oh, yeah, I think yes.
And then dog poop.
Yep.
Yeah, so we may have to bring those back in the 11 o'clock hour.
Yes.
Because we want to share some of the things that you had to share with us. But again, text line 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO.
What's new at 10?
It has been an emotional, gut-wrenching day in court as the families of 4 murdered University of Idaho students finally got to confront the man who took their loved ones' lives. Brian Kohberger admitted to those 2022 killings in a plea deal earlier this month. He's expected to be sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, 4 consecutive life sentences, plus additional time for burglary. And today, Kaylee Gonzalez's sister, Olivia, had a chance to address Kohberger.
You didn't create devastation. You revealed it in yourself. And that darkness you carry, that emptiness, you'll sit with it long after this is over. That is your sentence. And it was written on the wall long before you ever pled guilty.
She torched him for a full 6 minutes, at one point stating that if her sister were alive, that she would be kicking his...
You act like no one could ever understand your mind, but the truth is you're basic. You're a textbook case of insecurity disguised as control. Your patterns are predictable. Your motives are shallow. You are not profound. You're pathetic. You aren't special or deep, not mysterious or exceptional. Don't ever get it twisted again. No one is scared of you today. No one is intimidated by you. No one is impressed by you. No one thinks that you are important.
And then she wrapped up her testimony with this.
The truth is, the scariest part about you is how painfully average you turned out to be. The truth is, you're as dumb as they come. Stupid, clumsy, slow, sloppy, weak, dirty. Let me be very clear. Don't ever try to convince yourself you mattered just because someone finally said your name out loud.
One of the surviving roommates, Bethany Funk, told the court through a representative that she was scared that he would come for her next, and she hasn't slept through a single night. Obviously, a lot of anger, understandably, from the sister. That is the family. The Gonzalez family is the one that has been the most vocal also about wanting the death penalty to still be on the table, and that was taken off because of this plea deal. But prosecutors say the evidence was overwhelming, and it included DNA from a knife sheath, cell phone tracking data, and surveillance video that put him near the home on the night of the murders. But again, I mean, there were also some family members who were saying, we didn't want to drag this through a trial. And have to go through all of it again.
Yeah, exactly. And are all of them there today? All
No.
of them?
No.
Okay.
And Chef, you looked into it because there was one family that was specifically not going to be there, but I
that
think
was,
they all have
Madison Mogan's
representatives.
family. Yeah,
Yes.
someone read their statement though.
Yes. Because for some it's just too it's just too much.
Yeah.
And the family of Ethan Chapin was saying we need to be able to move on. I mean, Ethan was he was a triplet.
Right.
And their family is forever devastated, but it's like they feel like if we don't close this chapter, we're just going to be stuck in it.
Yeah, I just can't imagine. I mean, for these families, since there was this plea deal, there is no trial. So this is kind of the end of this long. I heard a reporter say it's been 900. Has it really been 900 some days?
2022.
Since it's taken this long.
Yes.
Just to get to this point.
Yes.
So can you imagine a trial?
Yeah.
So
No.
you're getting to the point now. This is the closure, so to speak, even though there is no closure to the pain.
I don't think I've ever asked you what do you think of the death penalty? Do you support the death penalty? Is justice served with life in prison in a case like this? I'm sorry that I asked you, but it's something that I grapple with every time we talk about stories like this. It's not a story. This is what happened.
Yeah. I would say I'm definitely mixed on the issue. So I'm not a hard line like pro. Like, I definitely think it's overused in places where they do have it, especially in cases where it really isn't. You know how you have those cases where someone's been sentenced there and there's these doubts about what happened based on certain bits of evidence, and then we're using the death penalty for that. That concerns me. When it seems very clear cut and there's strong evidence and it was like to me, this would have been an example of one where I would not have protested if there was a death penalty.
And we talk about issues where you come around on something. I used to be a much stronger proponent of the death penalty. I understand the sentiment of wanting, for a family, and they said an eye for an eye, tooth for the tooth. I understand that sentiment. But when you look at what has happened with the death penalty and when it wasn't used in the case of the Green River Killer, like any other case would be so hard, let's just say in the state of Washington, which is not even on the table anymore. But when you also look at the number of appeals and the amount of money that goes into it, and it is something that is not guaranteed, the number of folks who are on basically death row
They're
for
there
a long
for
time.
decades, yeah.
Exactly. I don't know that justice is served in that way also. And I know that for some people there's a religious component. Who are we to have the right to kill somebody else? Is that right? Two wrongs don't make it right. That kind of thing. My bigger argument is it's justice delayed. I mean, and it's just dragged out and it becomes extremely expensive. And I don't believe that someone like Kohberger, who I believe is going to be, I don't think he's going to have a great life in prison.
Oh, gosh. I think sometimes, I don't know how many people realize, prison is not a great place at all. I mean, and sometimes I think there is a perception that it's going to be this more comfortable life and you have your meals. But in most places, it definitely is a punishment. However, I understand that for this family, this doesn't feel like much of one because my loved ones are not here.
Yes.
And the way they died.
Yes. Well,
I mean, this horrific way that he did. Yeah, it's awful.
Agree. And the other thing is they don't have the answers that they want. And none of those families should feel like they were blindsided with this plea agreement. And that's the part that's so difficult.
Right. Though it was, as my understanding, they only had 24
They had a
hours.
very short amount of time. It was just about to go to trial.
That is a big decision that you need time to process.
It is. But I don't think that and the prosecutors are saying we didn't have that kind of time. It was just about to go to trial, and then this came up. And if you can guarantee that he's going to spend the rest of his life in prison, there was no guarantee that he was going to have a conviction. And in fact, there was talk that they found out from the defense attorneys that they were going to accuse other friends, right? I mean, they were going to basically drag in some other
unnamed friends who would have been forced to testify, provide
and
statements.
defend themselves. So people who are traumatized now having to defend themselves against.
And think about this from a family perspective too. If that case goes to trial and there's some sort of a conviction, he gets the death penalty. Every single appeal, you are going to be asked to come back into a courtroom and face him again and provide another victim impact statement. Like, this never goes away.
No.
Yeah. Someone asked, were any of Kohberger's family at today's sentencing?
I was asking during the break, I was asking Chef about Kohberger's family too, because he grew up in what you would think was a very traditional home. I mean, this is a guy who was getting his graduate degree, I believe, at Washington State University. This is a family. He was arrested in his family's home in Pennsylvania.
yeah.
So he came from what you would call a more intact home. Like, I was asking Chef, I'd want to know, what on earth were you thinking and why did you do this? I would be like, that would be the death of me as a parent.
Yeah. And, you know, whenever you see these cases where someone on the outside, you're like, the family seemed like they had a supportive home or a supportive family. We never know all the details. But you always wonder, what were the warning signs? And I'm sure if we were to talk, what were the warning signs? What did they witness? And as a parent, I would just did I not? Because I think we're always trying to get our kids the best help.
Yes.
And
Exactly. So,
so we don't know if they're there.
But
is that the answer?
If Brian Kohberger does speak, though, we will take that live here on KIRO Radio, and you will throughout the day hear more of the testimony. So we will have you covered on that. Just tragic. A former 911 supervisor with the Seattle Police Department has just won a nearly $900,000 settlement from the city after being fired over the COVID vaccine mandate.
To me, it was for no reason. There was no other way to put it. Just to be tossed aside like so much trash, and just for absolutely no reason.
That is Marina Shinderuk, a 14-year SPD veteran. She spoke with KOMO 4 News. She says she was terminated in 2021 after saying no to the COVID vaccine, even though she was granted a religious exemption.
And I remember when it got approved at the end of September, I got this huge sense of relief.
And she had worked her way up from dispatcher to communication supervisor. She said she valued her career. She says she offered to work remotely, to wear a mask or test regularly. But 5 weeks after getting the exemption, she was let go.
Tomorrow's your last day. That's it. It was surreal.
And she says this lawsuit was not about the money. It was to show her kids what it means to fight for one's principles.
I wanted to set an example for them. I wanted for them to see that you can't just give up without a fight.
So you and I are asking, why did the city of Seattle settle on this? And why are we hearing about so many of these settlements, in particular from the city of Seattle, also in the state of Washington?
Yeah.
So they did confirm to KOMO that there are still several pending lawsuits stemming from the vaccine mandate.
Yeah, I was actually looking at some other cities where this is happening too, because so many people were being let go. At the end of the day, though, if there was a religious mandate in place and she had it, then legally that city was likely going to be held liable should this have gone in front of a jury. Here's my thing on this. While she should have been, if she was granted a religious exemption, she should not have been fired, it sounds like to me from what I know about the case.
Right.
But I also have empathy for where we were at that time. And if I were a coworker of hers working in the same space, and for me personally, had watched my pastor just die of COVID, watched someone get deathly ill from COVID, and feeling like you're putting my life in danger, or, hey, I live with my elderly relative, and if you expose me, then, so, and at the time, this vaccine was the only weapon we had.
Right.
I mean, regardless of how you feel about the vaccine, we watched it make a difference in terms of the number of deaths over time initially. So I just can't underscore enough that we also have to have sympathy or empathy for who we were and what we were going through at that time. We cannot forget the numbers and the people in the hospital and the people dying and why it felt hurtful when someone near to us didn't seem like they cared if they spread it to us.
Yeah. No, I think you make a great point. But, now this is opening up. It's going to open up the floodgates.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So for all of those, and I understand if you were terminated and it was
and you
over
had
this
a religious
and you
exemption.
had the religious exemption, yeah, I can see that. Okay, there's one other story here that I want to bring up, again, having to do with COVID, because the former chair of the Island County Republican Party has just been convicted of a felony for disrupting the 2024 ballot count after he refused to wear a mask inside the vote counting facility. So his name is Tim Hazelow. He previously ran for Congress. He was acting as an official election observer during the presidential ballot count in November. But when the Island County auditor required all observers to wear masks because of a COVID outbreak that was happening, again, this was in 2024, Hazelow refused. And according to prosecutors, the mask rule was necessary because think of who volunteers for when it's older
People
volunteers,
who are-
many over the age of 65. They're more
Pre-existing
vulnerable.
conditions,
Exactly.
yes.
So he was warned, he was cited, and he was escorted from the building. But instead of pleading to a misdemeanor, he held his ground, and now a jury convicted him, and he faces a felony conviction for unauthorized access to a ballot counting area and criminal trespassing. The prosecutor in the case, Greg Banks, who his critics say was politically motivated, who is apparently someone who had spoken against President Trump. But prosecutor Greg Banks says Hazelow had multiple off-ramps, but this is a quote, zoomed by all of them. So he's given some other options so he wouldn't be facing a felony. And Hazelow's attorney says this case is about government overreach, calling the mask rule arbitrary and unconstitutional. And they're now filing for a new trial. And they say they are going to take this case all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court.
Can we not politicize a mask? Like, do we have to politicize a mask? Like, even if you say, you know what, I totally get your concerns about vaccines and emergency use, and we can have that debate. Like, totally. And you don't want to get the vaccine, I will respect your choice. But if I'm just asking you while you're around me and choosing to be in this space, and I have a pre-existing condition, please wear a mask. Let's not make, like that's, to me, it's like when you sneeze and it's polite to cover. Because if you listen, I can't unsee this. The Pacific Science Center had this exhibit on how germs spread. And they had you stand in this area and it had a simulation of a sneeze, and you actually had water thrust upon you and you were able to see how far droplets from a sneeze go.
Yeah,
which
I've
is
seen
why
that same
it
one.
is polite to take your arm and cover yourself.
I know, but
it's polite in that situation. Why are you
This
looking at me like this,
This has
Shaq?
nothing to do with politeness.
No,
this has to do with somebody knowing that they would gain a platform.
That's exactly
and that they
what
would
happened.
gain notoriety and could likely, oh, yes, they are crowdfunding now, aren't they?
Yeah, they are crowdfunding.
They're
Yes.
going to be on the conservative speaking tour soon.
Yes, and they're going to take it all the way. So this is, again, the former chair of the Island County Republican Party. And like he said, he was given chances to, hey, we don't need to take this all the way, but either way, you either set a precedent where you don't have to listen to the auditor. The auditor does have legal authority to impose safety rules if there is a public health outbreak. And at that time there was, and the volunteers, it's like, now you're facing a felony. You were convicted of a felony. And he was offered these other accommodations, but refused them.
Okay.
And I think it was because he wanted to make a point.
Okay, no. So someone said requiring masks is politicizing masks. No, requiring masks, it's science. Yeah. We have a concern over germs being spread.
Yeah, right
and
now we
someone
have a
catching
current outbreak, and we've got
put on your mask so that when you speak, droplets aren't entering me, perhaps ones that could make me sick. That's just science.
Yeah,
Just look at it like a dress code. Right, like I got pulled out at the border, the Canadian border, by federal agents, and they had me walk into the building. I wasn't wearing a shirt at the time, and got immediately barked at. Like, don't you dare come in a federal building without a shirt. You can have a code of conduct for how you carry yourself in a public building.
Yes.
Well, obviously, based on the text line, we're going to agree to disagree.
We are.
We're going to agree to disagree.
We are. Yep. Oh, my goodness. And 425, goodbye, you're blocked. Okay, when you...
Okay, not blocked for his opinion or his or her opinion.
Because,
Blocked because
once you resort to things like libtard, I'm sorry, but you have just lowered the level of conversation and debate.
We're having a debate.
We're having a
debate.
discussion.
We don't need to go with name calling and all that.
Sorry,
no,
bye. Okay, hey, coming up, we are going to talk about, okay, what do you think about renting grandma? For $23 an hour, you can rent a grandma.
Okay, this doesn't sound, the way you're presenting it sounds.
I know, sounds crazy.
But it didn't sound.
Hey, but that's a tease. So we're going to talk about that coming up next, 10:30. Yeah.
It's innocent, I swear.
It is innocent. It's actually, you think it's a good idea.
Oh, God, this is getting worse.
Okay, yeah. Okay, we'll talk about it coming up next.
This hour is brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington.
KIRO Newsradio, the Northwest's trusted news source.
Get the latest from KIRO Newsradio's James Lynch.
It happened Wednesday morning just after 6 o'clock.
Experienced voices you trust.
Several people hurt after a violent Saturday in Pierce County.
Coverage you depend on.
More from KIRO Newsradio's Matt Markovich.
It's as close to a veto warning as you could possibly get.
KIRO Newsradio. We're on YouTube, our app, your smart speaker, and 97.3 FM.
If your bathroom looks like it belongs in a Throwback Thursday post, or maybe it just hasn't been updated since disco was in, it is time to call Bathfitter. Bathfitter has hundreds of design options, wall patterns, colors, hardware that you can personalize to match your space and taste. And the result is a beautiful instant upgrade. And you are just going to feel like your home has had a wonderful upgrade. Bathfitter can do it all in as little as one day, so you don't need to deal with weeks of construction mess, and you don't even need to take time off of work. We had our Bathfitter friends come to my mother-in-law's house right before we were going to rent it, and it was the easiest process, and it's why I recommend them to you. Bathfitter right now is holding their milestone sale to celebrate completing 42,000 installations in Western Washington, and you can celebrate along with them with payments as low as $125 a month. Call Bathfitter or visit bathfitternw.com today. The special offer won't last long.
If you want that summer body you've always dreamed of, then this message is for you, ladies, and you men, too. Get rid of extra stubborn fat and address areas of loose skin around the waistline, chin, and under the upper arms with ProSculpt, the new one-day instant permanent fat removal and skin tightening treatment. Maybe you've tried the lasers, fat-freezing methods, even those new pills, but without the desired results. ProSculpt is different. It's minimally invasive, performed while fully awake, gentle, yet powerful. Designed to target the waistline, chin, neck, arms, and thighs, ProSculpt uses FDA-cleared plasma technology to deliver immediate, permanent fat-reducing and skin-tightening results, all in just one visit. If you want that summer body this summer, then you must act now. Go to ProSculpt.com today to schedule your free consultation. Get $250 off. For instant, permanent fat reduction and skin tightening, visit ProSculpt.com.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm, I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
What's up? I'm Phil Briggs, here from my friends at Navy Federal Credit Union. Whether you're looking to buy a new or used car, or maybe just want to refinance your current loan, Navy Federal Credit Union has great rates on auto loans. You can apply via their mobile app or online, and in most cases, get a decision in seconds. So get a great car and great rates with Navy Federal Credit Union. Credit and collateral subject to approval, rates subject to change, and are based on credit worthiness. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA, and you can learn more at NavyFederal.org/auto.
Are you trying to buy a new home, or are you a local real estate agent seeking financing for a client? We're all tired of dealing with banks, credit unions, and endless guidelines. Wouldn't it be nice to go back in time when we had common sense lending? Hi, I'm Scott Reutin, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. We are one of the largest local private portfolio lenders in Washington. We've helped thousands of home buyers and real estate investors reach their financial goals by leveraging the Legacy Common Sense borrowing platform. What that means is we lend our own money, we make our own decisions. If your deal makes sense, we'll get it done. Whether you're purchasing a new piece of real estate or refinancing an existing loan, bridge loans, construction, or regular home loan, it doesn't have to be as difficult as banks and lenders make it. If you're trying to grow wealth through real estate acquisition, come talk to the experts in private lending.
Call 425-635-4700 or LegacyG.com. Legacy Group Capital, your common sense lender. LegacyG.com.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Save up to 25% of remaining 2024 heat pumps and air conditioners during Home Comfort Alliance warehouse clearance while supplies last. Visit homecomfortalliance.com today.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. A sentencing hearing is underway for Brian Koberger, who pleaded guilty to murdering 4 University of Idaho students. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey joins us live. Luke, as we'd expect, families of the victims very emotional today.
An emotional day, Heather, inside that courtroom in Boise. Just moments ago, the judge inside the courtroom gave Koberger the opportunity to speak to those families, and Koberger said, "I respectfully decline." Earlier, the sister of Kaylee Gonsalves used her impact statement to go after Koberger.
You didn't win. You just exposed yourself as the coward you are. You're a delusional, pathetic loser. And that darkness you carry, that emptiness, you'll sit with it long after this is over.
The entire time, Koberger sat beside his attorneys in his orange prison jumper, showing zero emotion. And again, when given the chance, he refused to address those friends and families in the courtroom. Heather?
Thank you, Luke. Just in, the King County Prosecutor's Office has released its shots fired report for the second quarter of 2025. It shows the first 3 months of this year saw 14 fatal shootings, 55 non-fatal, and 278 total shots fired. That's actually the lowest number of shots fired countywide since 2020, and it's a 40% decrease in overall shots compared to 2023. Most of the gunfire happened in Seattle and South King County. The family of a black man seen on video being punched and dragged out of a car by police in Jacksonville, Florida, are demanding action. Ben Crump is an attorney for William McNeil Jr.
You need to terminate that officer immediately. Immediately.
The local sheriff says there's more to the story, and he's urging the public not to rush to judgment. An attorney for a Kirkland High School staffer detained by ICE acknowledges Fernando Roca overstayed a tourist visa but had applied for asylum, and he'd been granted a valid work visa in the interim. As for claims Roca was wanted for theft in Brazil,
I don't know who's saying that, but that's not anything to my knowledge.
Roca is the Juanita High School theater manager. The greater Seattle area now has the third highest median home sale price of any metro area in the country. RE/MAX says the median price of a home in Kings, Snohomish, and Pierce County is more than $766,000. Only San Francisco and Honolulu rank higher. Now, if you just look at the median home price in Seattle.
In Seattle itself, we're now above $1 million.
And RE/MAX broker John Manning tells me, unlike San Francisco and Honolulu, Seattle area home prices increased in June compared to the year before. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 407 points, NASDAQ ahead 57. From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk, construction blocking 2 lanes on I-5 northbound near the Ship Canal Bridge. The express lanes remain open northbound. That's putting pressure on your southbound I-5 commute. You are still stubbornly backed up to Shoreline. Travel time Linwood to Seattle, 66 minutes, 46 longer than usual. Some of you taking I-405 southbound, you are slow from Bothell down to Kirkland. Alderwood to South Center will take you 74 minutes, about half an hour longer than usual. Traffic brought to you by Wilcox Farms. Fresh food comes from local farms. For healthier eggs with 3 times the omega-3s, choose Wilcox Omega-3 eggs, locally fresh since 1909. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Mostly sunny skies today with highs in the low 80s. It's 67 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio Northwest News.
Welcome back to the Gee and Ursula Show, and we have been monitoring what is going on in Boise, Idaho, and the judge in the Bryan Kohberger case, the murder trial, the sentencing hearing for it. He has just sentenced Bryan Kohberger to life in prison as expected, and he is giving him his notice of his right to appeal, but he essentially said before giving the sentence, he offered Bryan Kohberger a chance to speak. Bryan Kohberger rejected that offer.
Which, you know what, because we talked about this at the beginning of the show,
yes.
I do have feelings about that.
Yeah.
After listening to those, it's been a few hours now of victim impact statements, I would have liked him to respectfully say something to the effect of, I have no excuse for what I did, and I feel I am terribly sorry. But there's something about even respectfully declining, and I understand that they have a right to do that.
Yes, and Luke Ducey has been following this. Luke, I don't know if you have anything else that you want to add, because this is breaking news. I know that the judge said, your 15 minutes of fame are over now. And we heard such emotional testimony, but he basically gave life sentences for the murders of those Idaho students. It will run consecutively. Bryan Kohberger will never get a chance to be a free man again. Mm-hmm. He said nothing. And you watched this, Luke. Luke Ducey joins us now. Did he show any emotion at any time? At some point I saw he had a furrowed brow, but he really just stayed there silent, just watching them as they were crying and tearfully confronting him.
Yeah, at every moment, and a lot of the TV coverage that we were watching had dual screens. They had one on Kohberger and one on whoever was giving their victim impact statement at the time. And no, he showed no emotion that I ever saw. And I got to be honest, I was mostly looking at him and his reaction. I often do that in courtrooms because everyone's attention goes one way, and then you want to look at other areas, to see how people react so you can tell that part of the full story. And no, he sat there just silent, no emotion. When he was asked to, and I'm trying to pull up a soundbite right now because this came in to our newsroom. We just kind of put this together just a moment ago, and I'll play it in a second. But even when he was asked, given the opportunity to comment, Mr. Kohberger, would you like anything, to say anything, the judge said, and he declined to comment. This was the moment right here. Let's go ahead and play this real fast.
All right, Mr. Kohberger, you have an opportunity to make a statement if you wish to. I take it you are declining.
I respectfully decline.
It was an odd moment because
he's like a robot.
Yeah, his attorneys said, no, he doesn't want to come. And it was understood that he didn't want to comment, didn't want to make a comment. But the way he said that in court,
I respectfully
it was
decline. It was. It didn't sound remorseful in terms of. I regret that I'm. It didn't have the right
robotic.
Not that we would expect to.
It's as if he was so concentrated on how he was going to appear, how he was going to say it, and following and making it a point to be respectful. I respectfully decline. He was not engaged. I got the impression, at least, he was not engaged with what was going on around him. He was shut off from that emotion. Wasn't understanding it, perhaps, or whatever that was.
The judge went through. He's understanding it because the judge went through all those questions. Because obviously that could be brought up in appeal if he doesn't understand what is presented to him.
It's like a disconnect of some sort.
Yeah, and his family was there too. Was his family there as well?
I don't know if his family was there. They have really shut off communication from the world as well since this has been going on, and really since his arrest. But I don't think they were in the courtroom at all. But certainly, I know they were watching.
One thing I wanted to add: it sounds like with the plea deal, he cannot appeal. That's at least what I've gotten.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You're absolutely right.
Right.
You are
okay.
absolutely right.
I know Heather Bosch was just clarifying that because I thought that because I was like, that was the whole point of this deal. That this would end it.
And I think the judge was saying you have given up your right to appeal.
Yes.
So yes, I'm sorry about that. That was my mistake. But yeah, we're dealing with a lot of moving parts right now. But again, it's wrapped up now. This was a very emotional. Several hours. We thought it was going to be all day.
Well, and because there's so many victim impact statements, and certainly the court is going to, and the judge is going to, in cases like this, and especially in this case, allow everyone who wants to be heard, and that's what he did. And they all expressed their emotions. I mean, some of them, and we'll be recapping this today, of course, and tomorrow as well, but it'll be coverage tonight. Just incredible, the bravery some of these victims and their families had to show and demonstrate today to share that emotion. Just amazing to watch on that part, but also an important message to Kohberger as well that he is not going to impact their lives was what we heard mostly from families, and they're going to move on. Mm-hmm. And he is going to. He's going to enter a door now and never come out of prison.
Yeah. Luke, thank you. Sue in Woodinville just texted in. A lot of you are sharing your reactions. Sue says, I'm not sure what you expected Kohberger to be like. He's obviously a sociopath. He was able to kill 4 people in cold blood. He's not going to have any remorse other than the fact that he's going to be in prison for the rest of his life. Well, continue to share your reaction to this 4 consecutive life sentences after hearing the emotional testimony from victims' families. This has just been a really tough morning. 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. Coming up, we will reset. We will do scenarios, and then we'll find a home because I did tease about grandma.
And people want to hear about it.
And so we're going to bring that up in the 11 o'clock hour. We'll
Okay.
do it for sure. This is the Gee and Ursula Show.
You listen to John Curley every afternoon. What does John listen to every morning?
Here's how I start my morning. Get my pot of coffee going, and then I turn on Seattle's Morning News. I listen to Charlie and Amanda. This is how I prep for my show, because I know those guys have, hundreds of years of experience, although Amanda looks better than Charlie. I'm going to get the straight news.
Experience matters. Seattle's Morning News. Weekday mornings 6 to 9 on KIRO Newsradio, 97.3 FM, and the KIRO Newsradio app.
All right, Takis fans. Wendy's knows you love your Takis Fuego chips, so we thought, why not make a Takis Fuego meal with a Takis Fuego chicken sandwich with spicy chicken topped with crushed Takis Fuego chips and creamy corn spread. Plus, it comes with Fuego fries inspired by Takis and a bag of Takis Fuego chips. If we had any more heat, we might start an actual... I told him this would happen. For an intense new take on Takis chips, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Includes 1 ounce Takis Fuego chips while supplies last. Takis and Fuego trademarks are used under license.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hi, it's John Curley. Longevity Medical Clinic has been helping people live longer, healthier lives for more than 25 years. I've recently talked with Dr. Mixon about his approach to proactively focusing on prevention. Dr. Mixon, I first met you in 2009, and I went in there and I told you I wasn't feeling well, couldn't gain any muscle mass, couldn't sleep well, I was stressed out, and you looked at me and you said, yeah, I know what your problem is.
And all we did was we measured your values and we moved your values back to those of a nice, healthy 25-year-old man.
I have taken your blood work to my doctor, and he was shocked He couldn't believe the depth in which you study my blood.
We need to draw a distinction between living a long time and getting old. And that's what longevity is all about, is we are here to do the measurements and help you fix those problems.
So get your free health analysis. Go to longevitymedicalclinic.com. That's longevitymedicalclinic.com.
Hey guys, it's Keith Dashafi from Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington, and we are not done celebrating 100 years of industry leadership. For a limited time, get $100 off every window, $100 off every door, or choose 60 months of 0% financing with no interest and equal payments. That's right, 100 years strong, and we're giving you more ways to save on the Pella difference. Schedule your free consultation today at PellaPNW.com. Thank you again for letting us serve you in the Northwest.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
More fiber and laxatives, eh? Who are you? I'm future you. Future me? Constipation with belly pain still coming back? Our doctor figured it out. It's irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C. And Linzess could help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Mamma Mia, they're back! Direct from Sweden brings the music of ABBA to life at Angel of the Winds Casino Resort. Feel the energy, the nostalgia, and the joy. Saturday, August 16th. Doors at 6:30, show at 7:30. Don't miss Direct from Sweden, the music of ABBA. Tickets on sale now, starting at $49. Get yours at the Players Club or go to angelofthewinds.com. That's angelofthewinds.com.
Planning a road trip? Plan a visit to Bucky's Complete Auto Repair for oil changes, brakes, AC repair, and factory maintenance. No appointment needed, and financing is available. Visit buckys.com.
It is 10:48. You're listening to the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out today. Angela Poe Russell is in, and it is time for scenarios.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
Hey all, my boyfriend and I recently moved in together, and I'm starting to wonder if I've made a huge mistake or if I just have higher hygiene standards than most. The other day, I caught him using my toothbrush. Not by accident. He pulled it out of the holder, gave it a little sniff, and went to town. And when I confronted him, he shrugged and said, "What's the big deal? We've swapped more than saliva." I said, "Yeah, but it's not the same thing." Then this week, I discovered he trims his toenails in bed and flings them towards the nightstand like he's in some kind of a competition. He says the carpet catches most of them. Again, it's not a big deal. Also, finally, he uses the same washcloth for his body and dishes. I asked him to explain, and he said, "Soap is soap, babe. It's all going down the drain." Am I being overly picky, or is this an unrecoverable situation?
This is made up, right? You made this up.
No, I didn't. I'm actually reading it for the first time.
Ew.
Oh.
I think when she says like the same washcloth, not like he transfers it between the shower, but he probably has the same stack of little washcloths, and those are used for dishes and also in the bathroom.
So I already knew the answer to this based on your first sentence. I moved in with the person and I'm starting to wonder if I've made a huge mistake. If you're starting to wonder, you did. Yes. And the rest of the letter just confirmed it. So, yep, you made a huge mistake. I'm glad that you're not official, and I hope you find a new place to live soon.
Okay. Do you give someone a chance to like redeem themselves, or you're like, oh no, this is just going down the once
I'm
they're
shaking
flinging
my head hard on this one, not on that.
That's just so disgusting.
Nope.
Yes, and I'm surprised it took you living together to realize this person is a slob. They're not only a slob at home. They've got to be a slob elsewhere, and it's just now confirmed now that you're seeing how gross it all is.
And it's not just that, it's a boundary issue.
Yes,
you
it
use
is a
someone's
boundary issue.
Toothbrush without permission.
Yeah. Now, have you ever used your partner's
No,
toothbrush?
not
Okay.
on
Yes.
purpose.
I have.
Not on purpose.
I have where I've just like, okay, I'm desperate. I don't want to just use my finger and I don't have any. I ask permission.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So, but it's not like I'm sneaking there. Oh, I'm just going to do that.
No big deal. It's just a break. Yeah.
We only have one toothbrush. We share it between Matthew, Alice, Gabby, and I.
That's not true.
I'm just kidding. No, but I don't mind sharing a toothbrush. What's the big deal? Your wife? You're just looking at me like you have discovered something newly horrifying.
I'm waiting for the punt. I'm like, really? Okay,
Yeah.
text us. Is that something you do? Do you share toothbrushes with your? No.
Generally, no.
No, accidentally stuff is hacked because we have these automatic ones.
Yes.
And so they look similar, and a couple times and I've been like, oh my God, peroxide. Like it's.
Yeah, I know, exactly. But more importantly, just not even with those details, if you're going to be serious with somebody, you need to be on the same page when it comes to hygiene habits, period.
Yeah. We argue, okay, how do y'all feel? Because this could be more gray about using the same towels that are used for dishes and the body.
Oh,
Not
heck
at the
no.
same, but it's the same
Unless I'm
stack of
camping.
towels. They've been through the washer. How do you feel? Now, for me, it's a heck no. It is a heck. Those are two different spaces. And no.
Yeah, and if you've used certain towels if certain towels used for a scooter, I'm not going to use them on my body either. No matter how many times that they've been washed.
One time I got whacked as a kid I took the trash from the bathroom and put it in the kitchen garbage can. And that,
Wait.
and I know. My mom,
now that garbage is garbage.
Not to my mama.
Okay. Okay, so that would explain why you might have stronger boundaries when it comes to hygiene. And I'm with you, but when we had the discussion about how often do you wash your sheets, maybe I'm curious about that too.
Oh, before I got married, it was not very good. This does sound bad. Okay, but my husband has this whole thing like every week the sheets should be washed.
Okay.
So now that I'm with him,
And I'm sure he helps.
The sheets are he does.
Okay.
The sheets are washed every single Sunday.
Yeah.
But before him, I just washed it when I had time. Like it might be 3 weeks.
Yep.
Fun fact.
Yes.
Did you know that most of the dust in your home is actually dead skin cells floating around? Anyways, I think men are trainable.
Yes.
Like you can easily train your partner to be like, this is where you clip your toenails. Like this is what you don't do. And I think most guys are pretty open and responsive to that. Some of us were just cavemen living with our male roommates, and
that is such a turnoff.
Who cares about the rag? It's more disgusting using the kitchen rag in the bathroom than the bathroom rag in the kitchen by a long shot.
No. Okay, people are going to completely disagree with you on that. Okay, I want to hear Nick.
Well, I'm getting the icks just hearing about this guy sharing toothbrushes, leaving dishes in the sink, and worst of all, I'm hearing flinging toenails. Listen, it's one thing if you're living alone, but if you're someone who has to deal with this awful routine, get out of the situation before you're cleaning up after him.
I'm a fool to do your dirty work.
Good luck to anyone else in the future who decides to pick up from where she left off, because teaching improper hygiene seems like a long pipe dream.
So good, Nick. And I got to say, whenever I hear about people just doing awful things with their fingernails or toenails, I just remember the time that I followed an editor. I used to be Ursula Reutin at the editor's desk, and I worked an early morning shift, and I was cleaning up as I do before I move in, and I moved the keyboard, and underneath, not even joking, I think there were at least 9 fingernails underneath. Yes. And I just was like,
So
Where
someone
is
was
But this
clipping
person was also someone who would have tomato seeds on their tie. I mean, it just was par for the course.
Where is the acceptable place to cut the toenails? Because those suckers bounce, right? So unless you're doing it outside, there's always going to be a couple that escape.
How about over a trash can and it goes
They
straight
don't-
in there? And
they
if
don't
anyone
go straight down.
Easy. And or over the
That's
toilet.
like gymnastics.
Yes. No. And
Or just
make
have
sure
a little
you
mini
pick
broom in
up
the
after
bathroom.
yourself.
Mini broom?
A little mini broom, sweep things up in the bathroom. Make
Okay,
it easy.
we're getting into the nitty gritty here. Okay. We'll have
Escaped
yes,
toenail.
we're going to get out of this one. 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. We'll have more of the Gee and Ursula Show coming up next.
KIRO News Radio is right there with you.
A big story developing this morning.
On your smart speaker before you head out the door.
Get the latest live from KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey.
Huge impacts for Boeing and Boeing workers.
The office, the gym, anywhere.
Water, like taxes, goes all the way down to the bottom, so it'll either come out of the employee's paycheck or the lack of raise.
KIRO News Radio. We're on YouTube, our app, your smart speaker, and 97.3 FM, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
When you speed, you have less time to react. Follow the speed limit to keep other road users safe. Speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
Chris Domine is a husband and a father. Chris is an athlete. Chris is even an Iron Man. But 10 years ago, Chris was facing a very different story because his kidneys were failing.
Basically, the doctor said, if you don't get a kidney transplant and if you don't do dialysis, you are going to die.
Fortunately, Chris received a second chance at life, made possible by an organ donor.
You know, your well-being changes from loss of hope to better times ahead.
More than 100 million people in America are registered organ, eye, and tissue donors. People of every age and ethnicity, because they believe it's the right thing to do. Imagine what you can make possible by leaving behind the gift of life. Learn more and sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Health Resources and Services Administration.
Some things can steal your sunshine. Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Spike O'Neill here with Dr. Matthew Sharp, owner of Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens. Dr. Sharp, I am amazed at the brightness and the clarity that I didn't even realize I'd lost before I had my procedure. How's that even possible?
A lot of people
don't realize that as you get older, the lens not only is less flexible, but it gets less transparent. And gradually, even in our 40s, 50s, 60s, the lens variety does get less transparent. So you get more glare at night, more halos, loss of contrast sensitivity, loss of some color vision or decreased color vision.
What I was seeing.
And so when we replace that lens that gets cloudier and cloudier with a crystal clear lens, all of the light gets through, all of the clarity, all the brightness, all the colors. And again, with the multifocal lenses that we have, it's sort of like a bifocal built in, so you can see near and far.
Give the folks at Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens a call at 425-451-2020 or online at sharp-vision.com. Sharp with an E-vision.com.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. A judge has just sentenced Brian Kohlberger for the murder of 4 University of Idaho students nearly 3 years ago.
Truth be told, I'm unable to come up with anything redeeming about Mr. Kohlberger because his grotesque acts of evil have buried and hidden anything that might have been good or intrinsically human about him.
He received 4 life sentences after his previous guilty plea. Earlier, there were impact statements from the victims' friends and families. Michael Wallace reports.
Olivia Gonzalez lost her younger sister, Kaylee.
Every day I'm angry. I'm left shouting at the inside of my own head everything I wish I could say to you.
Dylan Mortensen was a roommate of the victims.
All the memories that we were supposed to make, all of it is gone.
Scott Laramie's stepdaughter, Madison Mogan, was killed.
Since Maddie's loss, there's emptiness in our hearts, home and family, an endless void.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
In Florida, a black college student is recovering after being punched and dragged from his car by law enforcement officers during a traffic stop.
Exit the vehicle now! Exit the vehicle!
William McNeil suffered a concussion and pierced lip after asking to speak to a supervisor. The encounter sparked outrage. Civil rights attorney Ben Crump.
To the sheriff, respectfully, you can't justify this. You can't condone this. You have to condemn this.
In Los Angeles, a doctor has pleaded guilty to illegally supplying ketamine to actor Matthew Perry before his overdose death. The Friends star had struggled with addiction for years. Dr. Salvador Plasencia was to have gone on trial next month. British researchers think the pandemic was bad for our brain health. Vicki Barker has that.
British researchers writing in the journal Nature Communications say the brains of people who lived through the COVID pandemic aged 5.5 months faster than the rate that prevailed before the lockdowns began, whether or not they actually contracted COVID-19. Vicki Barker, CBS News, London.
Sales of previously occupied homes slid in June, partly due to prices hitting unprecedented levels. But CBS's Jill Schlesinger tells us there's another reason.
Still high mortgage rates are really hitting the housing market. For the 5th consecutive month, existing home sales were either unchanged or down from a year ago.
Investors on Wall Street are cheering the latest trade deals. Stocks are higher today. The Nasdaq up 81. The Dow Jones Industrials 439 points higher. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
We have more on the sentencing of quadruple killer Brian Kohlberger, but first from the Beacon Plumbing traffic desk. The most significant issue is still that construction that's blocking 2 lanes on I-5 northbound near the Ship Canal Bridge. The express lanes have been open northbound all morning, putting pressure on your southbound I-5 commute. Travel time Linwood to Seattle still about an hour, 41 minutes longer than usual. On I-405 southbound, you are slow. Travel time Alderwood to South Center via 405, 82 minutes. That's 42 minutes longer than typical. Traffic brought to you by Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Buy one window or door, get the second at 50% off through July. Visit lakewashingtonwindows.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch.
He chose destruction. He chose evil.
After heartbreaking testimony, Brian Koberger was sentenced to life in prison today for the murders of 4 University of Idaho students. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey joins us live with more. Luke.
Heather, an emotional day inside that Boise courtroom. A little bit ago, the judge gave Brian Koberger the opportunity to speak.
All right, Mr. Koberger, you have an opportunity to make a statement if you wish to. I take it you are declining.
I respectfully decline.
Several minutes later, the judge sentenced Koberger to serve those 4 consecutive life sentences for each of the 4 victims. During the hours of emotional testimony for the victims' families, Koberger sat beside his attorneys and showed zero emotion. Heather?
Thank you, Luke. 1 man is in critical condition and 1 has been arrested after a shooting in downtown Bellevue. It happened outside of Best Buy in broad daylight yesterday, witnesses telling KIRO 7 TV.
I can't believe that in Bellevue this happened. Like, it's just unbelievable.
Police believe the shooting stemmed from an argument. King County is raising money for public safety by raising your taxes. The county council voting 8-1 to increase the county's sales and use tax by 0.1%. Councilmember Reagan Dunn voted against it.
King County has raised taxes by more than 40% on the taxpayers over the last 10 years. That's a very significant set of increases for all kinds of different things.
Supporters say revenue will be used to offset cuts at the federal level and to ensure funding for core public safety programs. Republic Services trash workers in Thurston County have ratified a new contract officially ending their strike. That's what Teamsters Local 252 tells KIRO 7 TV. The strike began in Lacey and expanded after workers in Snohomish and King counties honored picket lines. Trash pickup has resumed.
Took a little bit to get back into the swing of things, but yeah, glad to be back out here.
Some full cans out there, I would guess.
Oh, lots of full cans, yeah, and lots of extras too, and people are definitely taking advantage of that for sure.
In some cases, there's a couple of weeks of garbage to haul away. A close-fought win for the Mariners last night against the red-hot Milwaukee Brewers. Not a ton of firepower from either team, but it only took 1 run from the M's to walk away with a victory.
Lift off right field. This one is going to go. It is out of here. Cal Raleigh.
Of course it was Cal. The M's look to win the series today. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Sunshine today with highs in the low 80s. It is 67 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Welcome, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us here on the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out today. Angela Poe Russell is in. It's been a very full.
It's been the first 2 hours.
Yes, lots going on.
Yes.
And
so much to talk about.
Absolutely. It's like every segment I feel like, okay, there's more we could have said. There's more we could have done. We're going to share a lot of your feedback on some of our topics coming up here in this hour because we did bring up the Blue Angels. A lot of you had a lot to say about that.
Folks were fired up on that one.
And if you haven't weighed in already, our text line is open for you, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. Also, hello to all of you watching us live on YouTube. And just a reminder to keep it respectful. You may disagree with us. Just always try to keep it respectful, and we appreciate all of that.
Top stories at 11.
On the Gee and Ursula Show.
Okay, we're going to switch gears here, though. We've talked a lot about this hearing going on in Idaho, and again, you'll hear a lot more about that throughout the day. But we need to talk about what is going on at a national level because something really struck me yesterday when I was listening to President Trump's news conference. And the question would be, what should be done when a sitting president shows signs of mental instability? And former President Joe Biden faced a lot of scrutiny about his mental acuity while he was president, and it turned out many of those concerns were warranted. Remember this? Actually, hang on. Let's see if I can get that.
Making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with, look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden.
Okay, that was
painful.
It's painful even when you go back to it. It's like, oh my gosh, remember that was like, oh wow.
I think that's when they started scrambling for Kamala after that to figure out a solution.
Yeah,
to get
exactly.
him to
So
withdraw.
that debate performance, that horrible performance, put the nail in the coffin of his reelection campaign. So the reason I'm bringing that up, though, is because yesterday I was listening to this news conference with President Trump, and he was with the president of the Philippines. And to set it up first, I mean, you know that right now he is trying to distance himself from the whole Jeffrey Epstein case.
Yes.
And there are a lot of documented close ties between the two of them. For example, Trump said he first cuddled Melania on Epstein's Lolita airplane, and that is a plane that he owns now. And then there was that article in the Wall Street Journal which pointed out their alarmingly close ties, Trump and Jeffrey Epstein.
Epstein was at one of his weddings, I think the one to Marla
Maples, exactly. And then in the Wall Street Journal, they published this letter that was purportedly written by Donald Trump to Epstein for his 50th birthday, featuring a hand-drawn silhouette of a naked woman sketched in a Sharpie. And then in it, Trump wrote that we have certain things in common, Jeffrey. Enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? And then he closed the letter with the note, happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret. So he vehemently denies that that is his artwork or that is his thing, and he has sued the Wall Street Journal. Wall Street Journal is fighting back and saying, we stand by our reporting on this. And then now he's basically, because there's so much pressure even from within MAGA to release the, go ahead.
Oh, that's what I was going to get to. Like, we haven't released the records, all the records. Go ahead.
Exactly. So there's all this pressure from within the party now, like, hey, we don't care who's on there. We want those records released. And so now President Trump is accusing former President Obama of treason and claiming that Obama and Hillary Clinton tried to orchestrate a coup. And he suggests it is finally time to go after people.
Well, based on what I read, and I read pretty much what you read, it would be President Obama. He started it. And Biden was there with him. And Comey was there. And Clapper. The whole group was there. Brennan. They were all there in a room. Right here. This was the room. This is much more beautiful than it was then, but that's okay. I have nice pictures up. They came out of the vaults. They were in there for 100 years. This is much more beautiful. We have the Declaration of Independence now in the room, which wasn't here. I guess people didn't feel too good about putting it here, but I do. But you know what? If you look at those papers, they have them stone cold, and it was President Obama. It wasn't lots of people all over the place. It was them too. But the leader of the gang was President Obama, Barack Hussein Obama. Have you heard of him? And except for the fact that he gets shielded by the press for his entire life, that's the one look, he's guilty. It's not a question, I like to say, let's give it time. It's there. He's guilty. This was treason. This was every word you can think of. They tried to steal the election. They tried to obfuscate the election. They did things that nobody's ever even imagined, even in other countries.
And he's talking about the 2016 election, and the report he's citing is authored by Tulsi Gabbard in her new role as Director of National Intelligence. And this report directly contradicts the findings from a bipartisan Senate Intelligence Committee, which Marco Rubio
He was the
part
chairman.
of it,
He
right?
was the chairman of this committee, this bipartisan committee.
Which basically said that, yes, Russia interfered with the elections. It didn't change the outcome, but basically said Russia was trying what it could to interfere with the elections.
Right. Didn't manipulate votes, but tried to interfere. That was confirmed by this bipartisan group led by the person in his current administration. And President Trump brought this up, it's my understanding, at this press conference when he was asked about Epstein.
Yes. And so when you listen to that, I mean, we only gave you a minute 25, which was probably a minute 25 too long, but it just went on and on. It kept Barack Hussein Obama. Yeah. Yes. I mean, I watched it as it was happening, and I'm thinking, man,
you were worried.
Who told him this was a good idea?
I couldn't even figure out what he's talking about.
Well, and it actually prompted a rare response from President Obama, the former president. A spokesperson said, these bizarre allegations are ridiculous and a weak attempt at distraction. Nothing in this document that was issued undercuts the widely accepted conclusion that Russia worked to influence the 2016 presidential election, but did not successfully manipulate any votes.
And then he also began that with, he said, out of respect for the office, we normally don't comment on these things because we respect the person who's in the office.
But I guess I go back to my original point. When you hear him speaking like that, do you worry that maybe his health? I mean, a lot of it has been said about Biden, but what about Trump's health mentally?
Yeah. Well, I only heard a minute 20 of it. And it was clear he was going off on this whole tangent about the beautiful room. But so I'm not sure how much else. I'd have to hear more, but you listened to it all.
Yes.
So, I believe you.
Then,
I trust that if you heard something that felt off, it probably was.
But then going after Obama. And there's this obsession about Obama.
There's an obsession with anything that distracts from something he doesn't want us to pay attention to. That's just facts. And I think what I'm most concerned about is, in the very beginning when then just Donald Trump emerged as a political contender, everyone just kind of laughed him off and, oh, you're not going to, it was a big, there's no way this is going to happen. And then, there's video of him talking about grabbing women by the whatever. And we thought that would make a difference. No, there's no bar that's too low that he has not been able to kind of navigate around. And I'm concerned that he's taking this direction because I just saw on the news, I guess Tulsi Gabbard's doing a whole press conference on this. So, I mean, are you worried he could actually seriously go down this road? Because I am.
He already has. I mean, but I think some people are starting to get it. His supporters, when you say on social media in all caps, stop talking about Epstein, and you get ratioed on your own social media platform, people start to pay attention. When you say that the Epstein files were a hoax, when you ran on releasing the Epstein files and your own sitting attorney general said she had the list on her desk,
right.
People are like, there's only one of two things. Either they were lying to me about this existing in the first place, or your name is all over it, right? I mean, and when you say things like, my Uncle John taught the Unabomber when he was at MIT, and his uncle died in 85 when Kaczynski wasn't even identified until 96 and never went to MIT. You're like, what? You can't just say Russia, 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 Obama, 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 the hoax, the witch hunt, and have people believe you forever.
Right. And I think that's what's happening right now.
It's almost like, do you think we're stupid?
The answer is yes.
Well, he does, but I think that they're proving no. Even some of his most ardent supporters are saying, no, you campaigned on this and we're going to hold you to it. And I give them credit for that.
Yeah. I was saying,
it should be regarded because, does he think we're stupid? What he's wanting is for us to look the other way. The same thing with, Washington Commanders need to change their names. I mean, these things that are just getting thrown out there to try to distract. I think people are kind of figuring out no, we're not going to be distracted.
I will just tell you this. We have a huge problem with sex trafficking in this country.
Yes.
And I can tell you from my experience talking to survivors, many of whom have not come forward because it's terrifying and it's traumatic and they've already been through so much. But one of them who to this day has not come forward talked about as an elementary school student being passed around to these powerful people. And so why not, if we know this is a problem, release the list, release the files. If there's nothing to hide, release it.
Exactly. And let the chips fall where they may. Doesn't matter what party we're talking about.
Did you notice that the Republicans decided to go on early summer vacation to avoid a vote on releasing the Epstein files, which would have happened today?
Oh, did not
that
know.
Also happened, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. See, it's too hard to track everything. Okay. I want to switch to subjects because this just gets me irate. I want to talk about the Blue Angels. Because a lot of you had a lot to say about the Blue Angels. And to be clear, as I said at the end of the segment, I still love the Blue Angels. And I asked the question, does that make me a bad person? It turns out I'm not the only one who loves the Blue Angels.
No, listen, when you look, every year we have like a Blue Angels party and we live kind of in the South area.
Yes.
Look at the crowds. I mean, just go look at the crowds. People come from all around, go see them in person, or they watch them on television during the Seafair coverage. It's our summer.
Yes.
It's like our summer celebration, but for some people, it is a nightmare. And
yes. Well, Jamie in Seattle says, the cost is unacceptable. My husband is a veteran, and these shows give him massive panic attacks. I know at least 12 families with the same issues from the noise. And then 425 says, they're not flying up there just for the heck of it. It's a recruitment tool. Do you want soldiers, men and women, to keep you safe? They have to come from somewhere. Rochelle in the 206 says, I love the Blue Angels. I think it should be treated like the 4th of July. Great idea. You know they're coming, so take measures to protect your cat, your dog, if you're concerned.
Right. That's, and if you missed our earlier discussion, there is a woman who's filed a complaint. Did she do an official suit too?
Yes. She's filed a suit.
Yeah.
Based on
basically
her old
saying
cat
what
dying.
It has been proven that when you have certain noise levels, it can impact your cardiovascular system over time. But the point I was making in our meeting today, I'm like, we know a year in advance what day this is, what weekend this is. And of course, Chef always pushing back, like, what if you don't have a place to go? And what if you, and that's.
But you can't do it all for everybody. And I understand. Yeah. I understand. Ryan in the 360 says, wow, it's people like this and stories like this that make me embarrassed to live in the Pacific Northwest. A bunch of Tinkerbell snowflakes whining and complaining.
Tinkerbells?
Thanks. My dogs are, we weren't complaining. My dogs are terrified of fireworks, but you don't see me putting them down and blaming someone else because of a 17-year-old animal got stressed out. And then there's another Ryan who says, my wife has PTSD and loud jets flying overhead can send her straight into fight or flight mode. We don't get them too often, but we do live on the flight path to Joint Base Lewis McChord.
So what's the solution when there obviously people have very real issues? And the one consolation I can say is that we do know same time, same station, same day every year.
Yeah, and they try to mitigate the traffic. They think they do a better job with that, but you know it's going to happen. You know it's still going to impact traffic. It's going to impact noise. Every time I hear about the Blue Angels, I've shared this story, but I just need to share it again because if you have young kids too, and maybe you have a noise-sensitive young kid, like our oldest son, Stephen, was very noise-sensitive. And when the Blue Angels were practicing, we kept calling them, the Blue Angels. It's just the Blue Angels. It's just the Blue Angels. And I remember him running around the house, locking all the doors. Like, I don't want Blue Angels coming into the house. Oh my God. It was so.
How old was he?
I think he was like
4 or 5.
Yeah, 3 or 4. And he didn't realize that what
they were.
What they were. So he was just saying, man, they're really loud. And I feel for people who are, triggered into PTSD, et cetera. And it's not that I want to sound heartless when I say, I still love the Blue Angels, and it is expensive and it's not great for the environment. But I think there's a lot of pride that goes into that too.
Yeah.
Can I share a really weird thought though? That because I always feel like it's impossible to watch them without feeling some sense of awe, but I also feel conflicted because I think about what it has meant for people in other countries whom those planes have flown over in recent years and what that's meant for them. And it is not the sound of freedom. It has not been the sound of freedom. It is the sound of terror. It is the sound of death.
Yeah,
and
true.
I feel this conflicted pride when I see the Blue Angels.
And one aspect, proud of those who serve and defend.
Yeah. And of our military.
And then on another side, realizing it hasn't always been used in a way that you feel proud of.
Yeah, we haven't had a good batting average in recent wars.
Well, coming up, God, I just looked up. It's 11:23. Yeah, let's move on. We're gonna do agree to disagree coming up.
Yeah, let's do
it.
We've done a lot of that already.
Yes, we have.
Informally.
Okay, would you take a job just for the insurance? A high-profile person just did that, and we were talking about it. Would you do that? Would you take a job just because you need the insurance? Text us 888-973-5476, 888-973-KIRO.
This hour is brought to you by DUI Heroes, the first place you turn to for breaking news.
Protest outside City Hall.
KIRO News Radio.
James Lynch begins our team coverage live at City Hall.
Now, we are told by SPD that 4 people have been arrested for assault. For more on the counter protesters, we go to Scott Carty.
See a group of another 10 officers come down the steps.
Closures now extended from Washington closer to the stadiums.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM, and download the KIRO News Radio app to listen anytime.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of their National Red Tag Sales event, now extended through July 27th. Stop by any of their participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event extended to July 27th. Discover the D.R. Horton difference at drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder. Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit MuckleshootCasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. Hi, it's John Curley. You know, I've been a patient of Longevity Medical Clinic since 2009, and Longevity Medical Clinic has been helping people live longer, healthier lives for more than 25 years. You know what's amazing, Doctor? The feelings that you have after just a couple of months. You sleep better. Your strength and vitality, it is evident that it works. It's really a mindset, though, Dr. Mixon, because a lot of people, well, this is what's supposed to happen.
Let us help you be stronger, faster, leaner, smarter, sexier, but most important, happier. I'm less impressed by how many years I might live, but how much I live during my years. You know, the option is here. Nobody's going to make you go to longevity. But the opportunity is there, and all you have to do is take advantage of it. I don't know why anybody would not want to do what we do.
And that's where Longevity Medical Clinic comes in. So get your free health analysis. Go to longevitymedicalclinic.com. That's longevitymedicalclinic.com.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
If you need a new car, don't wait. Ursula Reutin here for Carter Subaru, where your drive always begins with savings. Right now, get the 2025 Subaru Solterra EV for 0% financing for 72 months. Take advantage of the federal tax credit before it goes away. Lease a 2025 Subaru Solterra and receive a credit of up to $7,500.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. Not all buyers will qualify for federal tax credit. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized cost. See dealer for details. Valid through 7/31/25.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody. Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was.
I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
With Clear Choice dental implants, one day can make the difference between hiding your smile and saying cheese. Thanks to our dental implant experts, our one-day teeth transformation culminates in your Clear Choice Day, the day when you start loving your smile again. Visit clearchoice.com or call 888-SMILE-05 to schedule your free consultation today. And let us help Seattle start smiling again.
Majority qualify for same-day dental implants after doctor recommendation. Offices owned by Dr. Alfonso Pinheiro.
Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens has given me back clear vision. They've performed over 80,000 successful lens replacement surgeries. At Sharp Vision, you'll get the best price combined with the best experience. Sharp-vision.com. That's sharp with an E, -vision.com.
All right, Takis fans. Wendy's knows you love your Takis Fuego chips. So we thought, why not make a Takis Fuego meal with a Takis Fuego chicken sandwich with spicy chicken topped with crushed Takis Fuego chips and creamy corn spread. Plus, it comes with Fuego fries inspired by Takis and a bag of Takis Fuego chips. If we had any more heat, we might start an actual... I told him this would happen. For an intense new take on Takis chips, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Includes 1 ounce Takis Fuego chips while supplies last. Takis and Fuego trademarks are used under license.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-486-9600. That's 800-486-9600.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM. Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. After more than 2.5 years of heartbreak and unanswered questions, Brian Kohberger was today sentenced to life in prison for murdering 4 University of Idaho students. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has more.
Inside a Boise courtroom, Scott Laramie, the stepfather of victim Maddie Mogan, read his impact statement.
In the end, there are no words that can accurately capture the devastation of losing Maddie. We will endure, and we will go on. For Maddie, we will not let our grief consume us.
The entire time, Kohberger sat beside his attorneys in his orange prison jumper, showing zero emotion. He faces life in prison without the possibility of parole. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
A controversial new rule from Washington State Supreme Court goes into effect September 1st. It gives judges the power to dismiss criminal cases if there's evidence of arbitrary action or government misconduct.
This can't be serious.
Democratic State Representative Lauren Davis tells KTTH's Jason Rance this could lead to more criminals walking free, but supporters say it'll make the justice system more fair. We're learning more about a Kirkland High School staffer detained by ICE. Immigration and Customs Enforcement claims that Juanita High School theater manager Fernando Roca overstayed a tourist visa and is wanted in Brazil for theft. Roca's lawyer says he doesn't know about the theft charge.
All they've told him is that he had an expired visa, which is factually correct, but it's not his whole story.
He says Roca applied for asylum when his tourist visa expired and that he'd been granted a valid work visa in the interim. We're hearing from the man seen in a video getting punched by police and dragged from a car in Jacksonville, Florida.
I was really just scared.
William McNeil Jr. is black. There are calls for the officers to get fired. There are new numbers on the toll flash flooding took on central Texas. More from CBS's Michael Wallace.
The body of a woman was found near hard-hit Kerrville, raising the death toll to 135. That leaves a man and a girl from Camp Mystic still missing.
The Texas state legislature has begun a series of hearings about the floods, looking at the timeline and how more lives might have been saved. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 460 points. NASDAQ ahead 103. From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk, still the most significant issue out there is the construction that's blocking 2 lanes on I-5 northbound near the Ship Canal Bridge. The express lanes are open northbound, putting pressure on your southbound I-5 commute. You're backed up into Shoreline still. Travel time, Linwood to Seattle, 51 minutes, half an hour longer than usual. On I-405 southbound, you are slow, jammed up pretty much right through Canyon Park. Travel time Alderwood to South Center, 80 minutes, 41 minutes longer than usual. Traffic brought to you by Fred Meyer Pharmacy, which welcomes Express Scripts Medicare D and TRICARE Department of Defense plan members. You can transfer prescriptions at fredmeyer.com/payer update. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Sunshine with highs in the low 80s. It's 70 in downtown Seattle. I'm Claire Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out today. Angela Poe Russell is in. It's been a whole lot of fun.
It has been. It's been great. It's been a tough morning in some aspects, but it's also been really rewarding. I'm loving your fit today. It's kind of Northwest inspired.
Yeah,
got
it is.
The flannel look.
Yes. Except it's very light flannel because it's going to be another warm one today, which I'm loving. Okay, it is time for us to agree to disagree, brought to you by Guardian Roofing and Gutters.
One of these days, we just got to take off the gloves, just really go at it.
We need to talk about a sensitive topic for men, or at least men who aren't on the radio, and that would be hair replacement options. I bring up this question, is it time to stop mocking toupees, or are they still a punchline? So they used to be this ultimate symbol of denial. From sitcoms to stand-ups, they were shorthand for insecurity and vanity and middle-aged delusion. But there's this lady named Emily Cheney. She's in San Diego. She's known as the toupee queen on TikTok. And her viral TikToks are showing these like dramatic, confidence-boosting transformations for men who want a non-surgical option for hair restoration. She has men as clients in their 20s and 30s. Her installs are pretty flawless. And she says that her mission is to normalize the toupee. Angela, so I will ask you, are toupees still fair game to be mocked, or should we just accept them?
They are not. I think we need to accept it and make it cool and make it fun. We need to normalize it. And here's why. We know that certain people get discriminated against based on their appearance. And I would argue that many bald men may face discrimination they don't even know about. Just think about our politicians. How many U.S. presidents have we had in recent memory that didn't have hair? So I see it. I was like, okay, who would he hit? Clinton, Bush. Everybody has hair. And if you look at the CEOs, you're expected to have hair. I personally love, I love my man regardless, like hair or not, but I don't like that they face discrimination. So therefore, if people want to have a hair accessory, just make sure it's a good one. And it sounds like social media will help us find good options.
I love that someone is actually giving some good options because I have seen some horrible toupees.
Yes.
I haven't.
It used to be much more prevalent. It used to be much more prevalent. They have gotten better, but I love the idea. And it's not just for men. It's for women, too. Women suffer from hair loss. And whether it's extensions, whether it is wigs, whatever, it has become much more acceptable. The thing that I've never understood and I have never bought into and I've never engaged in is why people think it's okay to make fun of people when they don't have hair, or bald guys.
Because we're men and we're fair game.
And I find it cruel.
Toughen up, dude. Toughen up,
Okay, let
right?
me ask you this. So I remember being in the grocery store, and I had a toddler. So she was 3 years old max. And she's like, look, Mom, that man doesn't have hair. I about died. Okay, truck driver Phil, Jeff Bezos rocks the bald head. Very true. And he founded his own company. Like he started it. But you don't see a lot of short men who run for president and win.
Bearded guys, too.
I do think that if it makes people feel good about themselves and more confident, that they should be able to have a good one.
Okay, so I guess I'm with you because there's a double standard. Like, it's completely normal for women to wear a wig. I can't tell when somebody has hair extensions or a weave. In fact, I don't even really know what those are. I just know that women do them. But the idea of like you actually have to glue it to your scalp. Like it's something that you glue to your scalp. It's not like woven in with your hair. I mean, and like the hair plugs, I've heard that's a horrifically painful process. I'm just trying to figure out, how do you explain to people when you go from completely bald on top to a full, luscious, thick head of hair? Because it's not a slow transformation, right? And I'm just like, I don't know. It seems...
Well, and you know
I don't enjoy balding, but I also would feel just silly with like hair that I've never had in my life.
But you know what? That would only last for maybe a couple of days, because after a while people will get used to it. You know, and again, you're someone who I don't even notice. That's not the first thing I notice about you.
I wear hats all
but
the
you
time.
do wear hats.
So let me ask you, is a toupee glued on? Like I guess I wonder how it works. Do you take it off every month to like?
Yep,
when
it's
does
got to be, the glue's got to be like replaced every month, at least with the new ones, and they look fantastic. But I don't know. It's just it's a strange concept to me, and I think like some of these self-improvement things, there is vanity in all of them. You know, and there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but I just can't see doing it. Especially since they're like thousands of dollars. Okay, how alarming is this? In Japan, for 3,300 yen, or that's about $23 an hour, you can now rent grandma. Seriously. If you need help dumping your boo, rent grandma, or a stand-in family member at your wedding. Grandma's there. If you want a hot meal and someone to sit up with you at night and, you know, talk about your problems, cash or card, you pick. So the service is called OK Grandma. It's exploded in popularity. Vice covers it. They're not actors. They're real women, 60 to 94, who come equipped with life experience and, more often than not, you know, a Tupperware full of nice snacks. Angela, is this like a heartwarming innovation meeting this real emotional need in our society, or Japan's society, or a sad symptom of a society that's lost its way?
No, I think this is a heartwarming innovation. I remember when I had my first child and my grandmother came to live with me, because I was by myself in Philadelphia. She came to live with me. Our lives were amazing. From when it snowed, she'd made snow ice cream, and she would leave plates for me when I'd come home from work. And we would talk, and we would go do yards. Like, there was just something about having grandma there that just made our lives richer for my daughter, for me. And everyone doesn't have that. Either grandmother's not well enough, or your grandmother may have passed away, or maybe the relationship's not good. Who knows? But I just love the idea of being, and it solves an issue. We know that if you don't have social interaction, your brain shrinks. And so for the older people, being able to have the interaction is great. It's a win-win.
I think it's a win. We have talked about it on the show before, that I don't think we give nearly the amount of respect that we should to our elders or people who are our aging population. And in Asian cultures, they generally have a very different take, and they do give a lot of respect. So my only caveat in this story would be, grandma needs to be the one that gets the money. I don't want anyone exploiting grandmas, right? When they're...
Oh, no.
Yeah. So,
like a pimp my grandma service?
Yeah, I want to
Good
make
Lord.
sure that grandma gets the money when it comes to, bring them in. But so often, loneliness is the biggest thing that really I think can age someone who is at that stage of life. And it's just heartbreaking, and I think it would be great to keep them engaged. So I actually
love
this
it.
story.
Making a difference in people's lives.
So you're saying you believe that you can form a deep, real emotional connection with someone that you pay them for their time?
If you have regular connection with them. I mean, it's just also one of the things that is so important is to keep your brain engaged as you're getting older, so that you can stave off some of those things like dementia, etc. And wait, I take it you don't?
I don't know. I mean, sounds like another kind of work to me.
Text us. 888-973-5476, 888-973-KIRO.
Lanier.
Oh, you're
And
terrible.
if I knew your middle name.
I got two moms here. I don't
I'm
even
terrible.
have to write you guys.
I just went right over that one. See what I deal with?
Yeah,
what
I
deal
see.
with?
Yeah.
I could step
I
in
need to
it
know his
very
middle name,
easily.
because then it's on.
Okay, coming up, we hear ya and our words to live by. This is the Gee and Ursula Show.
The Jake and Spike Show.
Weekdays, noon to 3.
Seattle is the nation's most male-skewed major city. There's more men in Seattle. They say in the article here, they said the most masculine city, but I absolutely disagree with that.
You've seen the men in this town.
Exactly.
Please.
It's not like it's 80-20.
No,
that's when it's hard to meet a lady.
That's true.
When there's 4 guys for every girl. That's when it's here come the bride's time.
The Jake and Spike Show.
Weekdays, noon to 3.
On KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
If Old Spice Deep Sea Super Hydration Body Wash were music, what would it sound like? Start with the deep sounds of Old Spice's ocean waves and kelp. Layer on the smooth, renewing moisture. You wouldn't hear any parabens or phthalates because Old Spice Deep Sea hasn't got any. But you would hear that vitamin B3 for healthier looking skin. So while your regular body wash sounds like this, Old Spice sounds like this. Sounds like it smells amazing.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's danielnelsonmd.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Hartley and Brent Wilcox talking about Wilcox Family Farms.
Dad, I've really enjoyed all the community events we've been doing. One question I get asked a lot is, how long has our family had the farm? When I tell them since 1909, they're surprised. Why do you think that is?
I imagine it's because that's a long time, and many farms have been bought by big corporations that put profits first.
Growing up on the farm, I feel like we put people and the well-being of our hens first.
We do, and as you know, free-range and mobile pasture hens have organic soil to forage and do what they naturally would do. This takes more time and money, but it's the right thing to do. It's better for the hens and makes for great tasting eggs.
I agree. Here is Mike to tell you where you can find locally fresh Wilcox Family Farms eggs.
For fresh, local, pasture-raised, omega-3, hard-boiled, and other fresh eggs, choose Wilcox Family Farms. Look for Wilcox eggs at markets of choice, Whole Foods, and metropolitan markets. Wilcox Family Farms.
Looking for a simple solution to hair loss this summer? Get the same breakthrough one-day treatment I received at Advanced Hair during their once-yearly summer savings event. event. Your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day, and Advanced Hair guarantees it will grow. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar during their best offer of the year. For details and a free consultation, call 425-449-8185, advancedhair.com.
If you're traveling through the SCA airport this summer, use the new Security Checkpoint 1 at the south end of baggage claim. Just one of the many upgrade SCA projects taking your airport from now to well. Stay up to date on all airport projects by following @FlySEA.
And just like that, we are at the end of our show. And I'm sad. I want to keep going.
It whizzed by for sure. Yeah. All right.
Let's start with you.
Let's do it. We had a nice listener note. Dawn in West Seattle. Good morning. I know there have been a lot of heavy topics today, but it always puts a big smile on my face to hear you two brilliant, talented, oh gosh, go on, Dawn.
I know.
We've been on the show together.
Thank you.
I always enjoy it when Angela guest hosts, but it's different dynamic when you two team up. You go, ladies, and scenarios today, just gross. Get out now. Thank you, Dawn.
And I don't know that I've shared this with you, but Dawn in West Seattle is my new friend, the co-owner of the Seattle Storm.
Okay,
yes.
this is that
Dawn in
funny.
West Seattle that I didn't know.
This is that funny story where you thought you were just going. You did, Dawn, and you go to the Storm game and then realize she's the owner. That was epic.
Yes, that was really fun. Okay, the 1% increase in property taxes in King. Oh no, it's actually sales tax. A 0.1% increase in sales tax in King County. Josh says, I am baffled how local governments can be so concerned with housing affordability and yet continue to support high sales tax rates. All home construction activities are subject to sales tax. I'm a builder, and it pains me every time I have to add sales taxes to my invoices. A $300,000 home building project has an additional $30,000 automatically tacked on. How much is too much?
And then when people stop building as much, if things slow down, then the counties don't get that revenue. So it's a really shaky model. Dave in Snohomish County, you always come back to taxes and everyone is upset. I don't know how many times I'm going to text in and say how low taxes are in America. The problem is you don't get great service for your taxes. The problem is there is a lot of fat in the government. Don't get me wrong, Doge is not the answer, but you're not getting much for your taxes. There's a lot of misinformation and the rich don't pay their fair share. That's what it boils down to.
On canceling the Blue Angels. Now, we did hit some of these, but we'll mention a few more. Naomi in the 253 says, seeing the Seahawks training camp while the Blue Angels practice was awesome. Some of the players would stop and even look up to see the Blue Angels.
425, they are not flying up there just for the hell of it. It is a recruitment tool. Do you want soldiers, men, and women to keep you safe? They have to come from somewhere.
Kara, the cleaning lady, says, I am one and done with those Blue Angels. I don't think the chaos they caused over the weekend is worth the payoff.
Ryan in 360, wow, it's people like this and stories like this that make me embarrassed to live in the Pacific Northwest. A bunch of you read this one, Tinkerbell snowflakes, whining, complaining.
Yep.
All right, we'll move on to the next one.
Okay, how about Delta Airlines testing AI to charge different customers different prices? Dave says, this is nothing new. Lenders look at your credit score, and if it's low, guess what? You pay more. Why can't we just have one price, and either you qualify or you don't?
Yeah, sounds like a big good idea to me. Okay, an AI best friend for your child. More kids using AI for those relationships. David in the 206, how about a neurodiverse child with seriously affected interpersonal relationship skills? They are, despite best efforts, friendless. We've made incredible strides in confidence, maturity, self-esteem by allowing monitored AI relationships.
And I responded to Dave in the 206 because that would obviously be a great use of it. And if it's helpful, that is a wonderful way to use it. On the closed beaches because of dog poop and other animal poop, Greg in Seattle says, as someone who used to lead volunteer work parties in parks, a big problem is off-leash dogs who may take a dump out of sight of owners or in sight and ignored because their dog is across the park.
Basia in Seattle, sorry if I mispronounced your name. My dad collected the neighbor's dog poo from our yard and at night put it where he would get out of his car. He collected the neighbor's dog poo from our yard and at night put it where he would get out of his car. He unknowingly stepped in it and walked through his newly remodeled den with it on his shoe. He knew who did it and kept his dogs pinned up afterwards. Okay.
Oh, boy.
That's like teach him a lesson.
Yeah, and there was, and thank you for your tips as to how Angela and I can get the dog poop out of our shoes that we no longer wear.
Yes, I've already looked it up on Amazon.com.
Okay. Dave says, well, if we catch the owners, we can always rub their noses in it.
Okay, 253. The apartment complex my son lived in took DNA from each resident who had a dog, and when it was found, they would match it and charge a hefty fine to the resident. It was very effective.
And now that is one of the things I saw when I looked it up. It's like, what are other cities doing? And yeah.
I like that if you get a dog, you have to turn over the DNA to the city.
Oh, man.
Go through, have testers.
Because we have so much time.
You ain't putting
and
my
so
dog
many
on
resources.
a list.
How about just pick it up?
Big brother. Just pick up your poop.
Yeah, and don't bother bending down and making it look like you're doing it. If you're going that far, just do it. And don't
believe
use
someone
the no
did that.
bag as an excuse either. Okay, it is time for our words to live by. And I like this quote from Elijah Faber, who says, living the dream is simply a form of living out your passion, of making that passion gradually, through persistence and effort, a central part of your life. Love that. Always a great reminder. Always great to work with you, Angela. Thank you so much.
I feel the same. Thanks so much for having me.
Chef, thank you for a great show. And Nick.
Well, it won't be long before we see the seafair here once more with some blue angels above making loud noises as they soar. But watch for any droppings if you're swimming in the lake. And I'm not talking about the planes, but dogs who need a potty break. And don't say you weren't warned while drying off from summer dips if you catch a nasty smell while all the dirty water drips. Hopefully, no flying fingernail trimmings either from an ex-old roommate either. Just try and stay clean out there, folks.
Great advice. Jake and Spike are coming up next. I hope you all have a fabulous day.
Hope you have as much fun as we have. So long, everybody.
You listen to Charlie and Manda on Seattle's Morning News every morning. What do they listen to every afternoon?
I listen to John all the time when I'm driving home, driving my kids around.
I also listen to the John Curley Show, and even by the end of the day, I still like to keep my brain active, and he's very good at doing that.
John, first of all, is hilarious. I never know where this dude is coming from.
The perfect bookends to your daily commute with KIRO Newsradio on 97.3 FM and the KIRO Newsradio app.
If you've been thinking about surgery or even joint replacement, here's something to consider. Hi, it's Dave Ross. I've talked to over 100 patients of Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, and many of them have told me about life-changing results. Their words, after treatment at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. These are people with severe osteoarthritis, even bone on bone, and they're back to hiking, jogging, playing tennis, skiing, golfing, walking up and down stairs, playing with the kids and the grandkids, and they're doing it without pain and without surgery. Dr. Wagner's 60-minute outpatient procedure uses your own stem cells, and because they're your own stem cells, they can help regenerate your own cartilage in your own joints. Dr. Wagner is a board-certified Seattle physician. He has over 30 years of experience, and he's performed over 20,000 stem cell procedures. And he's one of the few doing it the right way. So, listen to his patients, and remember, whether it's a shoulder, hip, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before you choose surgery, first see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD. Get the facts, then get back in the game at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Saving for retirement was tough enough for us.
Yes, and navigating markets can be challenging at times.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we take a disciplined approach with your investments.
Tell us more about that.
We take an active approach to money management, positioning your portfolio for opportunities we see ahead.
So all your clients get the same portfolio?
No, we tailor your portfolio to your individual goals and needs.
What about communication? We don't like being left in the dark.
We check in regularly to keep you informed on the markets and your portfolio.
Which means you'll help us stay on track.
Yes, our goal is your comfortable retirement. And as a fiduciary, we always put your interests first, because we do better when you do better. At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
145 over 92.
180 over 111. 182 over 100. And I had a heart attack and a cardiac arrest. And then a stroke.
Your blood pressure numbers could change your life.
A lot of people don't understand